The ABB FIA Formula E Championship rocks into the Circuit Riccardo Tormo for day 2 of the Season 12 pre-season testing. Welcome to what is going to be the second session this afternoon. It's going to be another 3 hours, but it will also be the simulation race, so make sure you tune in for that. That's coming up at 1 o'clock UTC and 2 o'clock local. Tomorrow, just the one session in the morning before media day in the afternoon. Thursday, another double session, sessions 5 and 6. And Friday is the women's test with 2 sessions coming up throughout the day, where we'll catch up with all of the action from this pre-season test. I'm Joshua Birch. Alongside me in the commentary box will be Josh Turner, and also down at the trackside will be Jack Giamana and Jack Pickering as we get ready to come into all of the action. The green light is on and the cars are heading out onto the circuit as well after a very interesting session yesterday as well. It is going to be all eyes on top to see what we're going to have today. This is going to be a big run and a big session, so make sure you are tuned in here because this is going to be something very special. So the green light is on, we're underway. We're going to hear from the boys soon, and then we'll have all the information. And also, as well, we'll run through exactly what happened yesterday in the Formula E first session of the weekend. We're with you for 3 hours, then a break of 2, and then another 3-hour race this afternoon will be coming your way. So, in terms of test session number 1, it was Pascal Wehrlein who topped the times on a 1:21.714. A remarkably good time for him to come through. Nick de Vries was second on a 1:21.933. Jake Dennis was third on a 1:21. I can't even read that on the time screen at the moment. Give me a second. He was third on a 1:21.985. Eduardo Mortara in fourth on a 1:22.003. Ollie Rowland in fifth on a 1:22.058. Antonio Felix da Costa was sixth, 1:22.059. Just a thousandth of a second separated them there. Then we go down for Maximilian Gunther in 7th, a 1:22.194. Mitch Evans in 8th on a 1:22.227. Jean Verne in 9th on a 1:22.379. Then we get Cassidy rounding out the top 10. He's on a 1:22.380. Sebastian Wyme in 11th on a 1:22.462. Nico Moller in 12th, 1:22.534. Then we move down. Lucas de Grassi 13th, 1:22.6. Norman Nato then in 14th on 14th on a 1:22.618. Taylor Barnard then in 15th on a 1:22.740. Zane Maloney 16th, 1:22.869. Joel Eriksson 17th, 1:22.924. Dan Ticktum 18th on a 1:24.167. Felipe Dragovic is 19th, 1:24.418. And Jose Maria Marti was last on a 1:24.452. But Felipe Dragovic, the only driver after doing 29 laps, not getting a full power run, which was quite interesting as well. Usually we see those longer runs start to come through during the day. Sadly, we didn't at that point as well. But if you want to get your questions in, get everything answered, then join the Formula E Discord and get your voice heard in the FE bar. So that's where we're going to be to come through during this test. We're underway with everyone going out there on the circuit, and hopefully we will have a smooth session. But to begin with, let's have a word with Sebastian Buemi, who got caught up with the boys yesterday.
So, how was your first day? Obviously, it wasn't an ideal start. You weren't on track for the first hour. I don't know if you can explain a little bit more about that, but how was your first day back?
Yeah, it was basically the first day back in the car since London for me. I didn't get any testing in between, so of course missing an hour was not really nice. We had a small issue on the BBW, so we had to change it, and it's a pretty long change. But once it was changed, it was okay. So just a bit behind in terms of setup development and the run plan, but still at the end we were able to do some laps in 350 and 300. We were able to gather some good data, so not too bad considering we missed quite a bit of the session.
Yeah, talk to me about the run plan. Obviously, it's not a evolution in terms of revolution. Sorry, is a better word in terms of the Gen 4 next season. It's Gen 3 Evo. It's just software development. What is the plan? How do you think you guys can get better this week?
Yeah, so basically in the off season we've analyzed a little bit our weaknesses, which is mainly consistency in qualifying laps. Not really able to put the lap together, and obviously I'd say that the racecraft was not bad, but the qualifying performance was poor. So we've brought some upgrades on the software, some different things to try to make it easier for me to do a good lap at the limit, and I feel like we will test all those things that we've thought about and worked on since London. We did today already a few things which I think worked well. The correlation with the sim also worked well, so we will continue to go deeper into those upgrades, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll be happy and ready for Sao Paulo.
Yeah, just finally on me, obviously we had a small regulation change with the attack mode, and if you don't run out of time, it's okay. Do you think there'll be like some loopholes there in terms of just running to the end of the race, take it on the final lap, and then all okay?
I think that could be a very bad thing to do, to be honest, to take it at the end, because you'll get the loss of taking it, but you will not get the advantage of using it. And now with the four-wheel drive, it's such a big advantage to actually use it that if you would not be obliged to activate it, it's one thing, but because you have to activate it, you better use it. So for sure, I think people may delay the activation a bit compared to what they did this year, because this year you would have got a penalty if you were not able to use it fully, which is not going to be the case in the future. So it will incentivize people to wait longer to use the second attack. However, you still want to use it because it's a good gain. You can overtake a lot of cars with it.
All right, thank you very much. Cheers.
And that's Sebastian Buemi talking with Jack Giamana yesterday as well, coming into all of the action. This is going to be quite an interesting day, so we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen as the drivers are out there on the circuit. They've already started their run plans for today. Fingers crossed it will be a smooth one. I've just lost my Discord call that I had open in the FE bar. There we go, got it back now. That was not going to be the good sign to come into it. But yeah, not a terrible opening day, was it? It was smooth, quite controlled, and that's what we like to see. Apparently, your Exon's already had a lap time deleted 46 seconds into the session, so that's never a good sign, is it? But first up, the M1 Electro, the Mahindra has gone faster, so that's Nick de Vries, done a 124.707, fastest across the three sectors. Nico Muller has gone second fastest as well to try and get through. More data collection is coming through in this session. So it's Muller, it's de Vries, Muller, de Grassi, Buemi, Maloney, Verline, Ticktum, Ericsson, Dennis, Dragovic. That's your top 10 as things currently stand. Then moving further along the board, we will go and see, where are they? Evans, Mortada, Cassidy, Verne, Barnard, then Nato, Gunther, Marty, Roland, only to Costa, who has been out on the track, but he hasn't set a lap time. So all 20 cars have now set, at least gone out on the circuit this morning in session number 2, which is an improvement on what we had compared to session number 1 earlier on in the day. Some new footage coming in from the circuit thanks to Jack Pickering and Jack Giamana, so we get to see some more upgraded cars on the front. That's during the session that they're allowed to enter the pit lane, so we got some new B-roll footage looking in on the side of all of the angles as well coming into today. But this is going to be a very important session because this afternoon we will go racing. It will be the simulation race. We'll have commentators trackside and a little bit of footage as well to play after the session. But day 2 of testing very much underway, and the blog doesn't seem to want to be working though at the moment, which is always the fun sign to try and come in and get all the latest news, views and opinions. Day 2 has now activated. So that's good on the blog side of things. We can keep you up to date. It's another lovely start to the day. The sun is shining as it's time for day 2 of testing. We've got 2 sessions today, 3 hours in the morning and another session this afternoon. That is the simulation race, as I keep mentioning as well. So get ready for all of that to come through. But all in all, this is going to be a pretty long 3 hours. So I hope you're all settled in, ready to go and ready for the action. Jarl Eriksson has gone fastest now, 1:24.496. De Vries is in second position, desperately trying to clease back up. His first sector times are 28.5. That's just been taken as well by Lucas de Grassi, who's done a 28.377 in that first sector. Nico Muller has shot up into fourth position. He's now done a 1:24.829. His teammate Pascal Verlaine's a 1:24.869. Nick de Vries has gone back to the top now with the fastest third sector, 25.169. So he's now fastest overall, 1:24.258. He's 0.238 seconds faster on the front run. So not bad. All going well in the early stages of this session, which is good. We're 12 minutes in and already the drivers have rumped away into the distance, so that's already good news. We're keeping an eye. Look at de Grassi's second sector, though. He's doing a 30.103, so there's still chance here for the timings to come through thick and fast, as Dan Tickton's had a lap time deleted for track limits at turn 12 a few moments ago. But there we now see Lucas de Grassi going to the top, 1:23.183. Fastest first sector, 28.377. Second sector, 30.103. Third sector, 24.703. Our man saying, is this the simulation race or will it be held later? The simulation race will be held later on today. That's going to be in the afternoon session that we will have the simulation race. So make sure to tune in for that here as well. And remember to hit the like and subscribe button ready to go on the board. This is going to be quite an interesting run. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be quite the topic of contention. So still pushing through on this one. Do remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and we can bring you in all the action throughout the test day. As we now see as well, we've got some press conferences coming up in a couple of hours' time. That's going to be a lot of fun with hearing from the drivers and more in the afternoon session. And in as well coming through, as we just take a look and see if anybody else has got any sector times. Pascal Verlaine has the fastest first sector with a 27.979, so he's starting to get through. What's your favourite livery coming in? I like the Porsche livery, I must admit, but that's just, it's a shame that the Porsche livery is only for testing, that they're not going to have it full time. That is a shame to me because it is quite beautiful. But my favourite livery so far, I like Citroën. Citroën's livery is quite good because you've got the red at the front, the white in the middle, and the blue at the back. So it, from one angle, it's the French tricolor. It looks fantastic from the above angle. So yeah, definitely think Citroën have brought in an interesting livery. Mahindra's always looks the iconic original one. Yeah, but Porsche's was decent. I liked Porsche's coming through. A bit more black on the Mahindra this year on the side pods with the white text. So there's a little bit of a change. I said they'll like to play for it and see if that will change anywhere near the future. But so far so good, as everybody climbing into their cars, and we'll be heading out there onto the circuit. Nick de Vries to the top of the times, 1:22.065. Pascal Verlaine looking very strong as well in second position. Dan Ticktum's just gone into fourth. Nick Cassidy has gone 10th fastest at the moment for Citroën, 1:24.902. So there is some differences still to be applied as the battling goes on. If you're watching live on JB Motorsports or Formula E Zone, welcome to you. There's going to be a lot of interesting action across the Formula E season. We're live all week for testing, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and your notification bell for when we go on the air. As we now see at the moment, lots of cars coming across the line in very quick succession. 23, 22, 37 there too. So not so far too bad. How many cars have we got? We've got 19. Now, yeah, all by Lucas de Grassi out the circuit. So 19 cars are out there on the circuit right now, out of the 20. I think that's fantastic, really. Absolutely brilliant stuff to come in. We're just trying to add a bit more information for you back at home that you can then see who is where on the circuit with some information from the virtual graphics department. We'll see if we can get that sorted so you can see exactly who is where. Just realised that happens, so that's a brilliant idea. We'll get that sorted for this afternoon session. 19 on the track, 1 in the pits. Air temperature is at 13 degrees Celsius, track temperature 15, so it's surprising to say this, but it's very cold over there. 66% chance of rain, 2-kilometre wind speed as well, but yeah, very, very cold at the moment in the morning here. It would surprise you. Valencia is not a warm place in this time of year. And it surprises me that, remember, MotoGP is going to be here in 2 weeks' time as well. So they've got all that to contend with at the same time. And Formula E have a post-season test here as well on either the Monday or the Tuesday in order to see who is quick and who isn't. So, again, that is a negative, but it is a also slight positive coming into it. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, this is the cracking action of stuff as they come back in. 18 minutes gone in this session already. And yeah, they'll hold it all together, trying to bring in a lot more information and a lot more strategy. So, here we go across that line. First sector for Eduardo Mortar was a 27.776. Second sector, 29.8. Third sector, 24.431. It puts Eduardo Mortar to the top of the times on a 1:22.007. And now just 8 cars coming into the pits, so 12 out there on the circuit right now. Jose Maria Marti has improved up into 14th position, 1:24.775. So, already decent times coming in. No one is going to be any otherwise. It's going to be a negative session. They're all keeping through and hopefully going to have an interesting run. There's some notifications coming through as well from our WhatsApp chats coming through. So if you need to get anything on your screen, you can join us for all of that action. And remember, if you want to come on air and have your say on Formula E in 2026, you can join the Discord. We'll put that link in now for you. There you go. Press the exclamation mark in Discord and it will pop up on the board, and you can then join the FE bar and get all your views heard on air. Right now though, it's the second sector, Nico Muller, 29.764. Ollie Rowland has had a lap time deleted for track limits at turn number 1. Norman Nato is done a 28.833, so he too has found some amount of decent time. Not a lot on the board, but it is an improvement, to say the least, out there. So I guess slowly they're getting into the spirit of things this morning. Don't want to rock the boat too much in terms of anybody having a negative reaction out there on the circuit. But yeah, so far it is so good. As we've now got our information a little bit easier up here in the commentary box. So Verline has set the benchmark on Monday. It was the ideal start to season 12. Verline took the quickest time, 1:21.714. The fastest we've seen here at the circuit, Ricardo Turmo. The German had a few visits to the top of the times, but ended the day the fastest. However, as to be expected, it was close already within the top 15, all within a second of the former champion's best time. So they were still pushing an awful lot, which was to be expected as the situation comes through. But so far, this test is going to be quite entertaining as the action comes through. Just realised I'm pressing the wrong button to try and get over. So it should be an interesting run. Just hearing some news that we have the boys from trackside coming in shortly. They've been out on the circuit this morning, keeping up to date with all the information. So not too bad. But this is the report then from day one. I'll read it out to you. I'll get my glasses out to come in. It's going to take about 2 minutes, if you don't mind, to come into it. But yeah, not too shabby at all. But yeah, not bad. It's not such a bad session actually so far. Everyone's just keeping it all together. I'll read this out then. This is the latest in the blogs. So the first day of testing saw 3 hours and some rapid times set from the outset as Pascal Wehrlein powered the Porsche to the top of the timesheets. The ABB FA Formula E World Championship returned to action after a short break as the field started pre-season testing at the circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, Spain. There were some changes across the grid, but the same names were on top. It was a perfect start for Porsche as Pascal Wehrlein powered to the top of the timesheets. The German set a new Formula E lap record around the Spanish circuit with a 121.714 and an impressive gap back to second as the season 10 champion was 2 tenths quicker than the second place Nick de Vries at Mahindra. De Vries also had a turn at the top of the timesheets in the final hour of testing, and he has Mahindra teammate Eduardo Mortara company in the top 5. A good start for the Indian manufacturer after the pair both returned Mahindra to the podium last season. But I can finally stop talking because the boys are trackside with us. Good morning to Jack Giamana and Jack Pickering. Boys, what's it like over there in Valencia?
It's a little bit chilly, Josh. It's as is the case at this circuit. The sun rises the other side of the pit lane, so the balcony that you will have seen at the start of yesterday's show that we stand on is completely covered. So it's a little bit chilly out at the moment, but doesn't dampen our spirits. We've got cars out on track, and that's the most important thing.
Wonderful news. Giamana, good morning to you. Brilliant interview with Sebastian Boemi coming through. How did he seem after the interview? Is he happy that he didn't lose too much running?
I'm not sure if he's here.
He's not here. Oh, right, okay. Go on then, Pico. What did you make of testing yesterday then?
I did kind of stand behind him whilst seeing that interview. But yeah, what fascinated me was that was his first time in a Formula E car since London, which is insane. Considering that they usually have testing. Yes, we mentioned it on yesterday's show. Each manufacturer only gets 15 days of testing per cycle, which is 2 years. So they have to split those 15 days over those 2 years. And Envision being a customer team, I'm just assuming Jaguar, if they did give any to Envision would have prioritised Joel, as Joel's quite new to this series. But yeah, so it's it would be nice for him to get out and finally see what kind of updates Jaguar have made in the off season.
Hopefully it's going to be a lot of improvement. He's just gone 10th at the moment, 122.982, but has come into the pit lane. Just 4 cars out on the circuit at the moment. That's Gunther, Da Costa, Nato and Barnard. Did you manage to see anything from the DS Penske lot? Was it a mistake from Barnard? Did he just run wide and get into the gravel yesterday, or was it a brake issue, as we suspected?
I am very confirmation as Taylor Barnard just goes right in front of me down the front straight. But yeah, we believe it would have been something more than just ending up in the gravel, because he was taken off onto the flatbed on the other side of the barrier. Usually, if they get if they go into the gravel, they will be craned back onto the runoff so that they can drive back round to the pits and they can just continue at the same sort of time. But the car was put on a flatbed and was brought back to the start of pit lane where they were able to wheel it, get it off, wheel it down back together.
So this is going to be another 3 hours. Are the teams ready for this afternoon's simulation race?
Well, this will be what they kind of tee up for, because obviously we've got the simulation race this afternoon. It's not we don't get the full 3 hour session. Yes, the light will go green at 2 o'clock, but it will be at that point when they kind of form up in the pit lane, go round and then line up on the grid, ready to do the mock race. And as we saw last year, if you tuned in, they would go two by two doing their start just to make sure that there were no incidents. They would then join up behind the safety car, and then the safety car would peel in, and the race would begin. So it's basically they just get a simulated race, just to test everything. They will do a pit boost, but we've seen in the past, especially here, once they've got all the data they need to do, they come back and effectively retire from that race. So we will probably see quite a substantial amount of retirements in that race, but then afterwards they then need to reset everything and then go again for what I'm assuming will be essentially a 90-minute session after they've done the race distance. They then need to reset and probably get back running about 3:30. But so yeah, they do lose a lot of time this afternoon, and that's why they'll be focusing on doing more stuff this morning.
So who do you reckon is going to have the longer run this afternoon? Because we already see that Taylor Barnard's trying to catch up with time. He's circulating out there already, but everyone else is coming to the pit lane. So is the time for Barnard right now on the circuit completely alone good or bad? Obviously, as much time as you get in a brand new car is good, but he's got no one else to follow, no data traction to sort of reference himself with.
Yes, currently, I mean, I'm looking at the circuit, Ricardo Tormo, and I think the only car that I just saw there was Taylor Barnard. He's just coming up to the final chicane now in front of me. But yeah, apart from that, I can't really see anyone else. So everyone's kind of taking a slow start to the morning. It's slow. I don't usually see this time of the morning. I like staying in bed. But yeah, Taylor, because of all the problems that happened yesterday, he and the team will be wanting to make up on lost time and get as much data as they can.
So, what else is the general vibe there in Valencia then, mate? Because we've seen already that everyone sort of unshackled themselves. It's the first day back of school. It seems a lot more, relaxed. Are we going to be in a situation where this will be sort of, yeah, don't worry, all is well, all is fine?
Well, as I mentioned at the top of yesterday's show, we haven't had a clean week of pre-season testing since 2022. Obviously, last year there was a very last-minute switch to Madrid because of the flooding that devastated this region in Valencia, and then the year before there was a fire in the pit lane, which curtailed running, and that was on the very first day, and they had to move everything to later in the week once they knew what had happened and it was deemed safe for people to return. As I've just seen another car going out here, I'm not sure which one. I'm gonna guess it was Pepe Marti because I feel like I would have seen Dan's funky helmet, but
well, Barnard's just come into the pit lane, so the track has just fallen silent. It's Dan Ticktum, Pico, who's headed out there on the circuit. What do you make of Dan at the moment, Pico? Is he going to be a title contender this year?
I'd say probably not. Obviously, I was kind of proving wrong last year because we all thought that the Kira would fall off towards the end of last year because they're using the old horsepower train from season 9 and season 10. But we'll see how much development they can actually do. But it's going to be even tougher in what is now a 3-4 year old powertrain compared to the newer ones that everyone up and down the field.
And Sebastian Bruni has just come out on the circuit now as well, so we are getting a few more drivers out there. You said now, Giamana said that you were out on the track this morning. Did you manage to give it a little bit of a walk then on the actual circuit, or were you on the outskirts?
Around the outside, realistically, seeing like more or less where we can and can't go. I think last year when I was able to kind of go around the circuit and show you like different vantage points and everything, I think that was mainly because it was very kind of last minute move and they hadn't really like policed it brilliantly, and so I was able to sneak around and go to different places. Whereas this is the home place replaced Donington a few seasons ago, just after COVID. This was actually where they housed all the Formula E cars during the COVID break, before going and doing those 6 races in 9 days in Berlin. And so this is very much Formula E type. So that's one of the main reasons why it's great to get back here.
Which do you prefer, Donington, Madrid, or Valencia as hosting the pre-season test?
I think Donington, because it means that I don't need to fork out on flights. But but apart from that, I think Valencia is fantastic. I've been coming here since 2021, except for last year, and went to Madrid last year. They could have like so many stories about what you'd see places that I go to all the time, just completely underwater. And so I think it's fantastic we've been able to come here 1 year on from everything that happened.
Gatti's asking, when will the race simulation begin? That's going to be this afternoon's run for race simulation. So this afternoon we will have all the action to go out there on the circuit. You'll be ready for that later on today in the afternoon session. So that will be underway at, I can tell you, 1 o'clock GMT, 2 o'clock Central European time. So out there, Motara is...
Josh, I've just realised, have you been able to hear me all right? Because I feel like I've not put the right option.
No, I've been able to hear you fine. Yeah, I can hear you clearer now, but I can hear you easily before.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to try something.
No worries. Mortara with the quickest time in the first 30 minutes of the session. Mahindra started the day well. Right now, they are sitting in first and second place in the timesheets. With Mahindra leading De Vries by, Mortara leading De Vries by just 0.05 seconds. It was very similar to yesterday too, as the pair were running some fast laps for the majority of the day, but not an ideal start. We can hear in the background some cars coming out of the pit lane. That was Buemi. Not an ideal start for Barnard. It was already an eventful morning, and then Barnard brought out the red flags as his debut with GS Penske ended up in the gravel trap. The young Brit was okay, but he started down the back foot. Hopefully today will be trouble-free for Barnard. Pico, cars are heading out there on you. You've got 3 of them right now. Dantix is going towards you, and Lucas de Grassi's just gone out on the circuit.
Yeah, I think I've had a quite bad start to the day as well, because I've just realised that my microphone, my clip microphone, was off. So I've just turned that on, so you might be able to hear me a lot better now.
I can. We heard you fine before, so give me your phone.
Yeah, which is impressive, because my phone was down. I was holding it down by my side, and so I was very surprised that you were able to hear me. But yeah, we've got a bit more action out on circuit now. I've got Jake Dennis, season 9 world champion, has just gone down the front straight. So yeah, it's starting to liven up a bit here. I mean, obviously, testing is fairly dull at the most of times, because you're just sitting around waiting for cars to come out. But yeah, one of the joys, I mean, compared to F1 testing, we do actually have all 20 cars, unlike F1 who only have 10, and from next year 11. But
yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, we thankfully it's a little bit more interesting to cover.
Boggles the mind that F1 only have 11 cars out there for testing, especially when we used to really bug me when we were in Bahrain. It was like a week before the actual session started, the season started, and we had only 1 car for testing, but both cars were there. It's like, well, what's the point? Just put them all out there. 3 days of testing. It's especially ridiculous, but it'll be the same, by the way. Formula 1 testing starts in Barcelona, and even though it is exclusive testing, there's still live timing, and we will still cover it on JB Motorsports next year as well, in a very similar manner to what we're doing now with a chat show during the sessions as well across all of the running. Cars out on track are at the moment Muller, Dennis, Buemi, Tictum, and De Grassi. So 5 out there as well. What do you make of Lucas De Grassi this year?
We just had one come out.
Oh, who's come out on the circuit? Dragovic.
Yeah.
Dragovic. Go on.
Yeah. Lovely. I just saw one at the end of the pit lane, so I thought I'd let you know. Lucas De Grassi, yes. Obviously, it's Lola's sophomore year in the championship. So So yeah, they will hopefully build on last year. But Lola, they'll be focusing more on kind of Gen 4 to kind of make their footprint into championship. Lucas obviously got a podium in Miami earlier in the year in somewhat lucky conditions because of the amount of penalties that were given out for the attack mode usage. That is a rule that has gone for this year. So from this season, the teams don't have to complete all 6 minutes, all 8 minutes of their attack mode, as long as they've used both of them in the non-pit boost races, down to one attack mode in the pit boost race, just to make it somewhat easier for the drivers.
I think that. Do you reckon that's a big improvement? Because we were saying last year, especially during the double pit boost races, the fact that we were just not seeing the attack modes being completed because there was literally no point in them being completed. It was getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, one thing that I was rather concerned about. Obviously, we had minimal information on Gen 4. But we have had some information on Gen 4. Is that from next season they go to 4-wheel drive in all modes, and we saw how much of a difference in season 11 that the attack mode made in 4-wheel drive compared to 2-wheel drive. Yes, the advantage was probably a bit overpowered, but we saw in Gen 3, people would use the attack mode to try and get rid of it. They didn't really want to use it. It was more of a burden than an advantage, which we saw in season 11, which I much preferred, because that was the whole point of attack mode, was that it was supposed to be this this boost where you could, so if you fall back and then you can make up more positions by using boost, and that is what we saw last season. But it's something that we hadn't seen for the 4 years for the how long we've had it, six years prior or something like that.
Yeah. Really ridiculous how long it's been in Formula E, actually, without realizing it. Really, Jules are nearly as old. That's how scary it is.
Yeah.
Jules were back in. Oh, when did Jules come in? See, it wasn't Gen 3, was it? They came in.
Jules came in season 8 because that was the first year I did it, and they were doing the dummy rehearsal here. So it came in season 8. It came in because the qualifying format in season 7 created that that obscurity in the title fight. We went to Berlin, where there was, I want to say, 14 or 15 drivers still in the fight to mathematically win the championship.
It was like
and
14,
that was, and it was a lottery. We had 16 races that year, and De Vries won the championship on 99 points. That's less than 4 race wins, which is crazy. But yeah, so I'm very much all for the duels, and we obviously there's a new regulation coming in this year, which is tightening it together, which I think is very much for the best, because I think the breaks between the duels have been too long the last few years. So we'll have to see what the more truncated version of the duels give us when we get to Sao Paulo.
I mean, certainly from a commentator's point of view, I'm really glad they finally decided, let's cut down the times between the sessions. Because it was a long 1 hour, 40 minutes to cover. Nico Moller's just gone fast, by the way, 121.848. He's gone fastest by 0.159 of a second. Is Nico Moller going to be welcomed into Porsche the same way that... will he get the same treatment as Degrassi? Or will he be able to Costa? Falling back, not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that sort of mentality?
The thing is with this whole saga with Antonio leaving and Muller coming in, this has been going on much longer than we think, because if you remember back to halfway through season 10, it was the race revealed that Nico had done a test with Porsche when he was still at Cupra, and so And so from then, and the pressure was on Antonio, and he responded fantastically with a win that was then taken away from him. But he went on that run of 4 wins later on in the season, and but yeah, I think the relationship had already grown a little bit sour. There's this debacle that no one really knows about something that happened between Pascal Wehrlein and Antonio Felix Scott at the start of that season, and the writing just seemed to be on the wall from there. And so it didn't come much of a surprise that Antonio decided to leave and join Jaguar. And Nico Muller, who has literally just gone in front of me, going down to his pit box, Porsche right at the end of the pit lane because they're world champions. It's technically Cumbria as well. He was very much courted for that season, so he became the obvious option. Even though last season I wouldn't say he had a stellar year. Yes, he had the podium in Jakarta that was then taken back away from him because Sebastian Buemi had his penalty rescinded. So yeah, I'm not expecting fireworks from Nico Muller, but if he can still be there, if he can be within kind of 2/3 of the points that Wehrlein gets this season, I think we can call that a successful season for it.
I agree with you. I agree. I think Muller has got a shot here at just making a better name for himself in a faster team, and then mainly attacking in Gen 4, as you keep mentioning out. Porsche have committed to Gen 4. The only one who hasn't so far is Mahindra. Now, there's a rumour that they're going to do that in January, Pico. Do you reckon that we will still see Mahindra?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard this and that about different things. I've heard that they could be a customer team next year, and they'll be getting engines elsewhere. But because they have been umming and ahhing about this for so long. One thing that I'm absolutely confident in is that the Mahindra name will still be on the grid, but whether they are a manufacturer or not is another thing. I think the last season, obviously, they had their best season in about 5 years, and they scored more points than they did in the last 3 seasons combined. But I do wonder if it was kind of too little too late, if the writing was kind of on the wall by that point, that they were going to just end up being a customer team, spend a little bit less because they wouldn't have to develop a power unit. But it would be a shame because that Mahindra PU is going to come on leaps and bounds this season.
Yeah, compared to what we had in previous years where they were struggling towards the back of the field, and now they're regularly on the podium again, and they are 2nd and 3rd in this test day so far. 2 hours 15 to go. We're 45 minutes in to the morning session. Well, Pico, what are your plans today then? With what can we expect to see on our coverage over the next couple of days? Because you've got media duties starting today as well.
Well, so I'm not sure if you played it already, but we've got a Seb Buemi interview that that's been on. I'm sure you can play it as much as you like, Josh, to fill some time. Bit like comic relief when they re-show the things again about 3 hours later. But yeah, we'll probably be speaking to Joel Eriksson this evening, and then tomorrow we've got so we've got the session in the morning, and then in the afternoon we've got media duties, and we've got a fair few interviews tomorrow.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got press conferences coming up as well, and of course we might hear as well from a couple of the media personnel.
I could tell you who's in there, but I'm not 100% sure.
Who do you know for sure? Do you know anyone for sure in there? It's always a good point.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Am I still there?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
This is trackside information for you, how live it can get with Pico over there. Dragovich has had his lap time cancelled, by the way, for track limits at turn 1 a few moments ago. Nick de Vries has just ventured out onto the circuit. Nico Muller still fastest, 1:21.848. Fastest second and third sectors so far. Lucas de Grassi, first sector, 28.005. So second sector, 29.789. So de Grassi is finding a little bit more pace out there, which is something to keep a close eye on as this session continues on. Yeah, Pico. So, a few drivers doing full power lap time runs, which is good news. But when do you think we'll start to see the really competitive times? Do we have to wait until Wednesday? Maybe even... well, definitely we'll see them Thursday.
Yeah. So Thursday we'll have 2 sessions to last the rest of the day. But yeah, and the track will just keep on ramping up. So some teams will be going all leaving it to the last possible. Then they don't really show their hand, and also at the end of the day, it's Formula E. So we never seem to get. So we never seem to know who's doing what.
You never really know who's competitive and who's not coming into these things, but fingers crossed we can keep it going. Nico Muller still top of the timesheets. Reminder, you can join the Formula E Discord and get in here for the FE bar and get your voice heard. This is your show as well. Use the Discord link by using ! and Discord in the live chat to get access, and we'll bring you all the latest news, views and opinions from around the world. Where is Giamano? Is he doing an interview right now, or is he just in the media centre?
No, I think he's just sitting at his computer being lazy.
Call him out live on air.
if he's listening, can he bring me a drink? I'm thirsty.
I'll text him. Don't worry. I'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this is what testing is. It is just kind of looking at cars. It's nice to see cars, but there's not a lot going on.
No, there isn't, is there? I'll let him know. I'll send him a text saying Pico needs a drink.
Yeah, we've got more cars on the circuit than before, but yeah, because when I first came out here, it was a bit of a ghost town. It was just Taylor Barnard doing laps, and then when he came in, I think Tickton went out. So yeah, but we are getting to see more of the. One of the things I'm not sure if you've touched on it or not, but Porsche have a really funky livery. Obviously, they revealed their actual season livery a couple of weeks ago, but they've got a funky testing livery, which I haven't had the chance to go up see up close. But I know that eFormula News and eFormula D they've got some nice photos. So I'd definitely say take a look over there at some of their stuff as well.
So look, I like the Porsche livery. I think that's got. I wish they'd keep it throughout the season. I really, really do, because that's a lovely attitude to come into it. But what do you think of Citroën and their livery with the tricolor that they've got on there for the French flag? That's quite striking, actually. It's quite Formula E themed and done as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lovely looking livery. We this balcony is stationed next to just above the Citroën garage, so we get to see it quite often. But yeah, the thing that strikes me the most about that car is it is completely sponsorless. We know that the Maserati team were part owned by Formula E, just to kind of keep them afloat. I'm not sure what the situation there is now, but yeah, the Citroën, as Nick Cassidy goes in front of me, and we'll be hearing from Nick Cassidy tomorrow, so it will come out on the show on Thursday. But yeah, it is one of the cars I do really like it, and it's a proper French car. One of the things that, because I work at Silverstone Museum, one of the things that I've noticed about all the retro cars from like the 50s and 60s before sponsorship were a thing, they always raced in their national colours. That's where British Racing Green comes from. Got the green and gold for Australia. And so it's very nice to see the tricolore on the car. But one of the things is that they do have a significant lack of sponsors on that car.
Yeah, I've seen. That's why the delivery is sort of the way it is, isn't it? They've got nothing on for sponsorship. Would that change going into the season?
I think it will be. It shouldn't be too hard. I mean, you've got Nick Cassidy and Jean-Eric Vergne, your drivers. Surely they'll be able to ruffle up some sort of support or something like that, just to try and keep them afloat. But
I know what you mean. It does not seem a confident run, but that's what new teams have. What about losing Apt and it just being Cooper Cairo? What do you think about that? The Apt's name now completely gone from Formula E, one of the founding members.
So the Apt is on. So the Apt name is still on the Lola Yamaha, but it's kind of in the corner. It's not. It's not as visible as it used to be. But but it is still there, but it's kind of hidden on the banana car.
Do you reckon that Lola are going to get rid of it? That it will become just the factory Lola team completely as we go into Gen 4? Because Apt are sort of, as I said, they're slowly gets pulling back from the Formula E. I'm surprised as well we haven't seen Daniel Apt be in that team.
Yeah, I think it's slowly going that way that the Apt name will go and it will just be Lola Yamaha soon. I think one of those steps is the fact that Mark Preston is now the team principal and not Thomas BMI. So yeah, we will have to see how that goes. But I'm delighted to say that Jack Jordan is here and he's going to be taking over for me. So just give us a couple of seconds, Josh, if you could just waffle for a bit and then we'll switch over the mics and he'll be on in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Pico. Go take care. Go get a drink as well. Nico Muller is turned at the top now, as we mentioned. Now, Pascal Wehrlein's actually gone fastest, 121.777. He's 0.071 faster than Muller. But Porsche have been impressive so far this week. It's Muller and Wehrlein's turn at the top with a very quick start to the day. Faster by 0.971. But the Swiss driver of Nico Muller, as we said earlier on, switched to the factory Porsche team in the off-season. And the purple and black livery is a flash here in Valencia. His time is 121.848. His teammates Wehrlein faster, 121.777. With 2 hours to go in this session as they continue to run around. You can join the Discord and get all your latest thoughts in the action. As we now welcome in Jack Giamona. Hello, Jack. Good morning to you. How are you doing over there? In Valencia.
Not too bad. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly today.
I can indeed.
Sat outside currently as Norman Nato just drives past quite slowly down the start of the straight so far. But yeah, not many cars on the circuit actually. With we got a couple in the in the final corner that are coming around right now. DS, Akiro. So they're all kind of truncated into the final sector at the minute of the track, and we'll be hopefully hearing some. So the Mahindra goes past.
De Vries going by.
Vries followed by DS. Looks like Gunther.
You've got Marty coming through as well now.
Yeah, Marty's just passed me, and the other DS that must be Arnold and Lola of Said, Ara. Citroen is just blasting past, and they've all passed. So they've all managed to find themselves on the same piece of track. At this precise moment as they go around. But yeah, what's the topics of conversation been? Happy to talk about anything, of course.
Well, I guess I'll throw it back to you what we were on about. We'll start again. Sebastian Buemi lost a lot of the running yesterday coming into it, but he seemed like quite a happy chap in the interview that you played out with him. How did you find him?
He seemed okay. Obviously, it wasn't ideal to lose, but by wire issue. It just took a long time to fix. His teammate currently is out on track in John Ericsson past us. So yeah, I suppose it's not ideal, but they kind of know their starting point. And what was interesting was him talking about the run plan, and it's that improving qualifying. He said the race pace may be there, but the qualifying wasn't. So it'd be really interesting to see if they start posting some faster lap times as the sessions go in, because they'll be practicing qualifying runs and things like that. So that's something to look out for with the Envision, because that's what he was kind of saying that he was focusing on. So fingers crossed for Envision that they do have a better season, because as I said yesterday, they're one of the teams now that you're looking at to see, right, are you going to make a step forward with software development? You know, we know the powertrain of the Jaguar is decent. We saw what Nick Cassidy did at the end of the season. So can Envision make that step? And that's what these important days are. But it's very interesting that he said he hadn't actually been in the car.
Yeah,
like for him not to be in the car between now and London, it's a long time. So that shows that they haven't done or had very limited, or maybe they've given any running to Joel Eriksson just to get a bit more up to speed with things. So they haven't had much manufacture days at all then from Jaguar.
Yeah, and Joel Eriksson is in 8th position, 122.791. Buemi's 11th, 122.982. So is Eriksson sort of going to outshine Buemi this season? I mean, it's very early days to say that, but Buemi was a race winner last year. Let's not forget at Monaco.
Yeah, Eriksson, I don't know. It looks like we have cars have slowed down. No, it looks like we're all okay. It looked like we just came to a sudden stop there, but yeah, we're all good. We're still green running.
We're still green, yeah.
Joel Eriksson, I don't know. For me, it was a unambitious signing from Envision. Again, harsh for me to say. You kind of want them to go a bit more statemently, you know, or a bit more left field, a bit more rogue. With maybe a rookie or something like that. Because obviously Joel Eriksson's done a couple of races and he didn't never massively set the world alight. But this is his chance, right? So this is his chance to go, right, I'm going to be here and I'm going to prove my worth. And that's what, I don't know, he needs to be as close to Buemi as possible, right? For him to justify to be in that seat. Because there's so many other people that want to be in Formula E now, which is incredible. But yeah, Joel, he's just got to keep his head down. We can't really read too much into these 3 days because it's just testing for him. It's when we get to Sao Paulo and when the real stuff comes, and then has he taken what he's learned over these test sessions to really mount the challenge and start on the front foot? You don't want to be qualifying P18, you know, out in the jewels every week, and Buemi's, you know, grabbing a jewel appearance here and there, and you're nowhere. So for Joel, it's just learn as much as possible over these couple of days. And then, you know, we see where we are in Sao Paulo.
Just got an interesting time coming in from Nick De Vries, 27.746 first sector, 29.582 second sector. Watch that with Zane Maloney in 13th, who's a personal best, and Mortar. So the fast times starting to come through. They are on full power lap times. De Vries over the line, goes top, 21.605. Go on.
Yeah, he looked very quick there. And Mortara in the background also looked very quick as well. I was just watching him catch up to the cars in front of him. He did have a little bit of traffic. They seem to have gone to pit, and he just crosses the line now. Does he improve?
Fourth.
But he looked quick. Fourth at the moment, so still fourth.
Yeah,
but had a little bit of traffic, and then Andretti has just gone past us.
That was the 27 of Jake Dennis. He's fifth now, 122.119. So not the biggest of improvements on the board, but still got some time out there. Djokovic had a lap time delete, as I said earlier on, to come into this one. So still 2 hours to go. What's your plans for the rest of the day then, Jack? What have you got lined up? Because we've got a press conference coming up in about an hour.
Yeah, we've got a press conference with a couple of drivers. Oliver Rowland's in there. We've got a team principal press conference. It's kind of a chill day. Tomorrow's a bit busier. So Jeff Dodds in the morning, in a round table. So we'll probably get that for the afternoon session. And then it's media. So there's only one session tomorrow morning. So if you want to find out what's going on, you have to wake up and get up early for Wednesday, because there is no afternoon session on Wednesday. It's a media session. So we've got Nick Cassidy, we've got Oliver Rowland, we've got Pepe Marti, who we should have had on Monday, and Dan Tickton. So obviously check out the YouTube channel for those interviews. And in the future, they'll probably, most of them might come out after testing, but we might have a few sneaky clips on Thursday for you to enjoy. And Friday. But little sneak peeks, but the full interviews for those will probably be out after testing. So yeah, busy there. And then we're going to try and grab a couple of the female drivers as well, see if we can get one or two interviews with them for Friday's coverage. So as busy as we can possibly make it today, if we can.
And then that helps us all out throughout the rest of the week as well. So this first session of the day is mainly just to get through everything because we've got nothing really to talk about. The track action we're heavily reliant on. But this afternoon we've got the simulation race, and then we'll be able to see all that. And also we'll be able to, after the race, be able to have that in our B-roll footage as well. JT's going to get that sorted, which is going to be epic.
Yeah, it'll be nice to just see the start and so forth. A lot of question marks. I know people saying that it might be a standing start, rather than not a standing start. So we'll have a rolling start for the race. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I saw one of these simulation races last 2 years ago, and they kind of take it serious for the first couple of laps, and then once the pit boost and all that, like they start dropping off like flies. It'd be interesting to see what happens, but it's just making sure all the systems are working and so forth. I don't expect to see much overtaking because it's a test, so we'll just kind of see who's close and who gets it right in the pit boost, pit stop, and so forth. Yeah, it's not going to be a race like, once we get to Sao Paulo for sure.
Yeah, Sao Paulo's a whole different ball game coming in for that one, with what we're going to have on December the 6th. That's when the new season starts. Are you ready for a new year of Formula E? Has it come around quite quick? It's, 16 races across, 17 races across 11 different countries. You ready for that?
Yeah, of course, we're always ready here at Formula E Zone. We'll be ready for it. It's just amazing how quickly it all comes round. You feel like, just have 5 minutes to relax. Such thing as 5 minutes to relax, really. But yeah, we're ready. Of course, we're ready. We'll have more of these watch-alongs and things, and obviously more coverage throughout as the year goes on. So obviously, just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you get it all in now if you've not been subscribed to us before, because obviously lots of coverage, and obviously we've got the FE bar where you can have your say Mondays after the race. So if you're new to us, that's something to look forward to and get involved in, and have your say on your favorite drivers and favorite teams and how they're doing, and let us know what you think is going on.
Yep, simulcasting our coverage this year as we did last. That started in Mexico, but we're now all the year round, which is beneficial to both of us as well. And getting Formula E content to the heart of Formula E people is mightily important. And you can join the Formula E Discord for FEZ by using the link that's in the chat. You can also press the exclamation mark and Discord, and you can get into the FE bar waiting room, and we'll drag you in, and we can have a discussion about whatever you like Formula E related as well. Now, a couple of other things that have come through. First hour has been completed as well, and that is now with De Vries fastest, 1:21.605. Verline second, Muller in third. Mortara and Dennis completed out the top 5. How do you feel about Jose Maria Marti at the moment then, Jack? Is he a driver who's ready for the challenge of Formula E? Big step up, of course, avoiding F1 and ending his F2 career early. He might do Qatar, then fly over and miss Abu Dhabi. But Marti's taking a big risk here to go to Formula E.
The thing is, it's interesting because he's a Red Bull Junior driver, right? So when we do get a chance to speak to him, one of the questions I have, it's, was this a decision that you took, or was this a decision that you and Red Bull have taken to say, all right, actually, we want to test you here? Because there's some good drivers here. So it's not like, it's the end of the F1 road, for example. That's another thing. Is it the end of the F1 road, or is it not the end of the F1 road? Is this just, instead of going to F2, we think Formula E is more competitive for you to go and race in for the next 2 years, and then maybe if you do really well, especially the Gen 4 season, then maybe doors may open for you again. So it might be a decision that he's taken with Red Bull to say, actually, let's come here, let's be competitive here, and see if that opens any doors. Or it may be actually he thinks this is the way forward for him, and this is the championship he wants to be in. Obviously, you get paid, which is a big bonus. You don't have to pay. All the drivers are paid here, so maybe that's part of his thinking. Maybe he's thinking he needs sponsorship or extra ideas to get to to Formula One. But then if he decides to come here, then God knows if he'll be a Red Bull Junior driver for long. So if he'd left the Red Bull Junior program and come here, then obviously that was his decision. But the fact that he's still part of it may suggest that, there was maybe come here, be competitive here, and your door's always open for a couple of years. And then he can decide what he wants to do.
Yeah, we'll get Omi in later to talk about the F2 costs, but usually it's around 1.5 to 2 million euro per season to cover a Formula 2 run.
Yep.
That's, for those of you in America, it rounds up to about $3 million US. And that's a huge amount for drivers to have to fork out every single year. So for him to actually get paid here in Formula E, it could be that he's just, as you say, he needs the funds and he's not depleted completely because Red Bull are part of the academy. They put up half of the percentage.
I was going to say, I'm sure they would have covered some of the costs.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50. So Red Bull cover half the costs and Marty covers the other. But how much is it going to be beneficial to him to actually earn a bit of cash and give him a run for a proper title seat? Because it seems the only way into Formula One these days is either dead man's shoes or you've got some cash. And it's pretty much he's not got either at the moment.
Well, you got to work out what's best for you, right? And he's been at Campos Racing for a very, very long time, the most of his junior career. So if the funding's not there, and Campos Racing are a team that need funds as well, like just to keep moving. So if the funds aren't there, then you can come here and you can be a professional racing driver and you can earn a living, and that's what everybody wants to do. So if that's what he wants to do, and he's come to a series where he can earn money and be competitive, then he's made the right decision for his life, effectively, rather than chasing a dream. Maybe a bit like Felipe Drugovich, for example, who chased that Formula One dream for too long and has ended up here anyway.
Yeah, Drugovich here as well. He's running 11th fastest. He's out on the circuit, 1:22.505. What do you make of Felipe as well? He's had an interesting start with Andretti, but he seems to be settling in well. Have you got an interview lined up with him over the weekend?
We wanted to, but unfortunately, it couldn't get arranged with Andretti for XY reason. But he is in the press conference at some point over the week, so we will hear from him. He did really well in Berlin, did Felipe Drugovich. He did really, really, really well. So it's interesting to see now. Obviously, he's got a couple of new systems to learn with the Porsche side of things with Andretti. So again, it's just about being on the pace and starting quickly. You probably got one or two races to find your bearings, but then you've got to be on it from the midpoint. Probably Jeddah onwards. Really, you've got to be on it. Use Sao Paulo and Mexico just to find your feet, get used to the way that qualifying works and the races work, and get your feet under the table. And then really from Jeddah onwards, you've got to be there or thereabouts. You've got to be pushing. You've got to be near Jake Dennis. Otherwise, you're just going to fall off and end up not having a seat for Gen 4.
How disrupting is it for new drivers coming in? Like the first race is in December and the second race is in January. You've got the Christmas break over between it as well. Is it a disadvantage almost to throw in a race for in 2025 and then everything goes happening in 2026, 16 other rounds?
I suppose, Formula E just want to obviously take control of the winter months, but they do a very poor job of taking control of the winter months because we don't have enough racing in it. And obviously Sao Paulo clashes with Abu Dhabi, which never helps. But even though there is a slight different time zone, but it's just whether or not people want to commit their whole Saturdays to watching motorsport. Some people will, some people won't. But I don't know. I think it's fine. It's the cards you've got to be dealt with. You've just got to be ready, right? It's the same as any other sport, I suppose. Like, you've got to be ready for March, and then there might be a small gap. You look at the World Endurance Championships, there's big gaps between races there sometimes. So, and there's not many of them either. So, if you have a bad start, you don't have a lot to catch up on. So it's one of those, really. You've just got to deal with the cards that have been dealt with you, basically.
Now, a couple of YouTube comments coming through. Racing Lines asking, I think Gen 4 attack will be more balanced, similar to Gen 2, which worked pretty well. That's on the attack mode coming through. What are you hearing about Gen 4? As Pico was saying, we know very little information about what's coming.
We do know very little. I've heard the only rumours is about March, April time, that they will maybe announce what the Gen 4 car will look like. There's been little teasers so far, but we're hoping that, we'll be part of that we'll kind of find out and get some early access to what the Gen 4 car looks like. Interesting that he says it's going to be balanced, because obviously I threw that question to Buemi as well, because about attack mode, because we've only got one attack mode at the moment. He said it's too powerful just to wait till the last lap or the later stages and not get the benefit from it, because there are potential for loopholes if you could really just go as quick as you can, or with some safety cars, and because Formula E races aren't straightforward. So I feel like you could use a loophole of not taking attack mode or waiting for take attack mode right at the end. I mean, maybe sacrificing a minute or two just to either protect yourself or a late charge without losing too much time. So I do think we'll see a lot of people take attack mode, their second attack mode, they maybe not use the full amount, because that means you can go faster, by the way, in 300 kilowatts, right? Because you don't have to lift and coast as much. Because obviously, if you go a bit faster, 300 kilowatts, less lift and coast, right? But you take attack mode for a smaller amount, and what you do, then you're saving the energy, right? Or the energy is not going down as quickly as it would if you do a full 350 attack mode. So you can go a little bit faster potentially at 300 for a little bit, right? So which may counteract some of it, because you're not lifting and coasting to deal with, obviously, when you run at 350, you're using more usable energy, right? So your battery will drain faster. So to counteract that, you could go a bit faster at 300, and then you've got less, 350 running. But obviously, what Boy's saying, you need more 350 running. But as I said, these races are not always as straightforward. So you might find yourself actually taking less attack mode or not taking the attack mode at some tracks. I don't think at all tracks, because you've got to count slow. Where tracks where you might lose 2 or 3 seconds, you might think, do I want to? Can you counteract it? But places like London or Mexico is like one of the easiest to take attack mode. I think you just take attack mode because you don't lose any time. So the ones where you don't lose much time, I would take it. But if there may be a question that comes out in the future, depending on the race, and you'd have to be a proper genius to be on the strategy on that one, because if it's a straightforward race, you have to take attack mode because it's too powerful. And I agree with Boemi, it is too powerful. But, with the safety cars and if you haven't taken attack mode, just like, it's okay. Everything's now okay. You just have to take it, and you just finish, so as long as you finish the race. But the wet races might be interesting. We do have a wet race, because we saw in the likes of Shanghai and Tokyo, big gaps began to form. So it's like, all right, just take attack mode. But if you don't need to take that extra attack mode and go risking, falling down the order for a spin, because obviously the cars handle slightly differently at 350 than they do to 300. And you don't have to risk going a bit faster. You don't have to take those risks. So in the wet races, maybe you don't have to take the full allocation of your attack mode, and it keeps the car pointing in the right direction and on the black stuff, which is, I think, what the teams might prefer than taking a risk with that, how long they want to use that second attack mode.
We saw in Tokyo how nuts the attack modes got, didn't we, in terms of wet weather races? And it was all over the place. Couldn't keep up.
Yeah, so it's just one of those, isn't it? But you've got more grip. That's the only thing. You do have more grip. So it's that. But then in Shanghai, the attack mode didn't work at all, because they were so spread out because of the standing start, and they were so miles away from each other at that standing start that, it wasn't that beneficial attack mode at all in Shanghai. So it's one of those. It's just like, I feel like, they've done this because, it makes sense. But then you're like, as a strategy person, right, then you're thinking, okay, what loopholes can we explore from this? And if we go into Gen 4, to go back to the original question, and it's more balanced, well, then if it's more balanced and it doesn't have a big attack, then those loopholes of just waiting for the last lap are more prevalent, because you don't need, as long as you use it, right? And you can wait for the last second to do it. So really and truly, the attack mode in Gen 4 needs to stand out. We need to be able to take this, because if we dull down attack mode, right, and you can't, and it's better to just run your race, take it at the last lap, and you don't have to use the full allocation, so you've still got 8 minutes left or 6 minutes left, whatever, and you've crossed the line with 7 minutes remaining and you've won the race or you've finished on the podium, then you're basically saying attack mode's useless and shouldn't be in the series. So it's just making sure then when we go to Gen 4 that it is still as critical as it is at the moment. So these kind of ideas that I'm spurting out right now don't happen, because if you do that, you're just going to fall down the order and you're going to finish last anyway. So there's absolutely no point of doing that. But it's just interesting to see what could happen strategy-wise, because, Formula E races, they're never straightforward. So therefore, these kind of loopholes, these kind of things are just in the back of your mind, in a sense.
Do you remember when we had the first generation and we had the fan boost
Yep.
and it was only available in the second car? What if we reverse that and put the pit boost for race? The races where we have the pit boost. If we make that, they have to use attack mode before using the pit boost, because then that makes attack mode has to be used in the first half of the race, and also means that pit boost is a little bit more strategy oriented to get some energy back.
Yeah,
it could be.
That's what happens. I think it was very reactional to what happened in Miami. This change.
Yeah, Miami was a lot of a problem. Yeah.
I remember speaking to Alberto Longo, who's here as well this weekend. I've seen Jeff Dodds and Alberto. They were in the media center a little bit earlier today. And I remember having a chat with Alberto, and he was like, yeah, but these things we're already discussing about making changes. But then once you make this change and all of a sudden you're like, well, what have you potentially set up? What is the repercussions of this change, right? Because yes, we've made a change. It could be very good, but at the same time, if a team was somehow brilliant at 300 kilowatts and was able to extend gaps and it was really fast at 300 and build up a big advantage of like 3, 4, 5 seconds, then all of a sudden their use of attack mode is much less, because they've already pulled away at 300, so they can just use attack mode whenever they see necessary to just fend off, basically, because they're so quick at 300. I know that's very rare in Formula E to be able to build up a 3, 4, 5 second gap, but it's not impossible.
We've seen it done last year,
yeah. It's not impossible, especially if the others are fighting and they allow you to escape. We saw it in London, right? So then all of a sudden, it's just like, well, you can make attack mode not that important. So it's just it swings and roundabouts. We have to see how it works, right? And how these races unfold, and then if there are any teething problems or issues.
VDRN says London was an example. Yeah. I'll throw back to that. Is London really still a circuit where it suits Formula E? I know there's a lot of rumours that it's not going to be there for Gen 4.
It's not going to be there for Gen 4, no. I'm gutted about this. I'm a big London fan, very big London fan. And yes, these Formula E cars are suitable for London. Go back to Pascal Wehrlein when he won the championship. It's exactly the same car pretty much, right? He overtook his win in that Saturday race was outstanding on his way to his championship. For me, like, that was a champion's drive. He got the overtakes done. And I feel like we've got into this, if we go back, let's go back and jump back in time to 2005, 2006. And I know people back then said F1 was boring, right? But when you got an overtake, it was special. And what I like about London, right, is that when you see an overtake, it feels special, right? The drivers had to work for it. Drivers had to dive down the inside, going back into the XL to try and get that move done. They've had to set them up in those last 2 corners to try and get them into turn 1. There's those opportunities of diving down the inside on the turn 16, I think, just before the attack mode, and you're like, wow, right? And that's why I remember that Wehrlein race, because he was so brilliant at overtaking. So yes, I do think they're fine. Okay, where we go, I really hope that it is temporary, that we go to either Silverstone or Brands Hatch. I really do, because I want to go back to London. Not because I just live in London and it's easy for me to get to races, but it's the identity of Formula E is being in these big cities. And once you start going to Brands Hatch, you can't call Brands Hatch the London E-Prix. You cannot. You can't call Brands Hatch the London E-Prix.
It's the border.
It's not
isn't it?
London.
It's near.
It's
Well,
not.
Kent, but it's in the borderline.
You know, for me, you can't. It's too far away, right? And it's you know, if you think central London, you're a good hour and a bit away, you know, from the city centre. Like, that's just too far from the city centre to call a London E-Prix for me. I know Miami, but technically it's still Miami was, you know, Homestead, and maybe it's technically still London, but I don't even think it has a London postcode. So therefore, you know, if it doesn't have a London postcode, then you're in a bit of a, you know, iffy area. But for me, it's the Olympic Park. Honestly, I think the Olympic Park is well, Formula One wanted to buy it, you know, and you have to think, if Formula One wanted to buy the Olympic Park or that land, obviously it went to West Ham, right? But West Ham in the summer months of June, right, don't use, and even parts of July, don't use that stadium, right? So you could shoehorn, and the roads, I'll be honest, the roads around, you know, the Olympic Stadium aren't, they used, but I think if they were closed for a day or 2 days, I don't think it would, you know, upset everybody, right? Especially if they leave like easy access for the Westfield shopping centre. As long as access for Westfield isn't, you know, the shopping centre hasn't been affected, you know, you can use the roads around, you know, sort of around the stadium. You can even use bits of the stadium like we did in Seoul.
That was good.
You know, like if that could happen, you know, it's the off season, you know, they hold concerts there. Why can't they hold, you know, have a part of the Formula E track go through there? And then you've got the facilities of the media center of the Olympic Stadium and stuff like that. So you've got facilities for people like me. And I'm sure if F1 were looking at making it into a track, I'm sure there's pictures, there's things left over of what Formula One were looking at, that Formula E could go, right, we'll take some of that and see if we can make a track round the Olympic Stadium and so forth. So for me, I think that's the best place. The only other one was if you could revive the old Crystal Palace Park.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Because you know, obviously the carriageways are still there, but obviously that's a bit more, you know, work that we need to go into that one. But I think really the easiest fix is the Olympic Park. But I honestly think it's the roll of the dice now. If Formula E does get big in Gen 4, and I'm probably a pessimist at heart. I don't think it will, but or it might grow, but not to the extent that Formula E wants it to grow.
Yeah.
But
some comments coming through for you, mate. Personally, I think that it'll be interesting to see pit bulls replacing attack mode. So long as the teams can recharge whenever, there should be more strategy involved, and the races could be longer too. That's from Oscar. VRDN says, in my opinion, Monaco and F1 is what some degree London is for FE. And Oscar also says Brands Hatch is the London E-Prix, like Luton Airport is considered London Luton Airport. Yeah,
I 100% agree with that as well. Yeah, I don't know how London Luton Airport. It's not London, is it? It's Luton.
It's Luton.
Yeah, I agree with that, and yeah, I agree that I've always said London's our Monaco, and that's what's special about it, right? And that's why, like, we get scared about these cars. The XL's kind of expanded. The only other option is that we can try and you cut one of the roads off round by the tube station, but yeah, I'm not too sure what can be done at the XL. Unfortunately, it was a great location. It's arguably probably one of the best locations for the fans in terms of them getting transport and getting down to the event. And, you know, you can get the Elizabeth line right outside, you know, quick links from London Euston. So, you know, people can just get trains and then the tube into the London XL and get out pretty quickly as well, which is really good. And obviously, if we go to Brands Hatch or Silverstone, then obviously you can get a train to like Swanley area for Brands Hatch. But, you know, which is from, I think, London Victoria. You have to go from London Victoria. But Silverstone, if you don't have four wheels in a car, getting there is going to be very difficult.
And also, no offense, but Silverstone would look completely dead. Silverstone,
Which is...
it looks dead with MotoGP. Honestly, what was it? Formula One had about 120,000 people there. MotoGP, I think, had 50,000 on their race day, and it looked dead. It looked dead. If Formula E went to Silverstone, it would look embarrassing.
Yeah. It's a long way to go for 45 minutes of racing, so hopefully when we go to Gen 4, we can at least get an hour or something. Like, it's a long way to go for 45 minutes.
Do you reckon?
And not much else to see. Not much else to see in terms of support series.
But do you reckon people will be happy?
But if they go to places like Silverstone, they might get some support series like going, because why not? But interesting. Go on, what were you going to say?
Well, the thing is, Formula E is very much like, it must be hybrid, it must be electric to be a support series, but then they tried with Jaguar I-Pace, they tried with Robo Race. It doesn't really work yet, so I don't know what we put on as a support.
It's just money as well, isn't it? It's all money.
I said we should have used Gen 2 as a Formula E junior series. Like, after that fact. Like, we should have used Gen 1. What do you think?
Gen 2, I would have not gone back to Gen 1. I just think the car swaps are a silly idea. Not a silly idea anymore, but it's not the image that you want to show. Because that was a lot of things that we had to battle with at the start. But it showed the progression, but I don't think we want to go back to Gen 1. Gen 2, not too bad. Not a bad idea. Even these Gen 3 cars, we're not using them.
That's true.
Come the end. So, these are good enough for a support series. But at the same time, who do the support series? That's my next question. Like, who do it? Because, and I think this is the problem Formula E have. Like, if you go to the World Endurance Championship, for example, you've got Formula 4, maybe European Formula 3 season or something like that. Like, those championships, right? But those championships are linked towards Formula 1, right? They're all part of the Formula 1 pathway.
Yeah.
So don't find me a 16-year-old that at this precise moment wants to drive in Formula E and Formula 1. You won't find them. They might say Formula E is their backup choice if they can't get to Formula 1, maybe. But a 16-year-old whose dream is driving Formula 1, they try and get to the Formula 1 paddock and use that as a stepping stone and use the series that's already been established. So starting a new one from scratch just to get to Formula E, find me a 15, 16, 17-year-old who is like, actually, I don't want to drive in Formula 1, I want to drive in Formula E, who are becoming a professional driver. I don't think you'd find many.
Are we at the time yet where we've still got an 11 playing field between Formula 1, World Endurance Championship, IndyCar and Formula E? Are we there yet to sort of go like, there's 4 top series in the world, that's where you can now go to? Or are we still at the point that F1's above Formula E?
F1's above everyone. F1 is above everything. IndyCar, World Endurance Championship. No one, unless you're American, you're going to the IndyCar because that's what you've grown up with, and Formula 1. But, maybe that's slowly changing, maybe, but I don't think that much. It's like the NFL, isn't it? They still love the NFL, and, you're bringing football over to the MLS, the football, like, they've got the Barcelona Spanish games as we're in Spain, in Miami, right? And that doesn't mean they're going to all love La Liga. Like, they might enjoy a bit more, but it's not going to pit the NFL anytime soon. And it's exactly the same with Formula 1, right? So everyone wants to go to Formula 1, right? Formula E will always be, unless the world massively changes, Formula E will always be under F1. There is nothing Formula E can ever do that will eclipse F1. Nothing. I'd be amazed. I don't even think in my lifetime, and I'm 30 years old, I don't even think in my lifetime Formula E will be ahead of Formula 1. Like, just because Formula 1 is the pinnacle, and everything, every junior series, everything from day dot lead you up to Formula 1. So why would that change for Formula E? It won't. It won't change for Formula E. So, as I said, find me those 15, 16, 17-year-olds that want to will forget about Formula 1 and go drive Formula E, and come here, because where's the money? The money's also Formula One. You know, you're telling a kid, right? Go and earn, I don't know how much these drivers earn. Let's say 100,000 a year, like just 100,000 a year, right? And maybe less, who knows, right? And then, but you've got the option of earning millions for driving in Formula One. You go for the millions.
Oh, every time. So I think that's a question you can throw to Marty actually in your interview. It's like, you know, Formula E or Formula One. Why the difference? That is something I'd want to know, actually, because Marty has made this decision to go over to Formula E, whether it was his own choice or Red Bull's. He's somebody, the only one really in the paddock, because Dan Ticktum sort of got manoeuvred into having to do Formula E. Dragovic, you know, he waited so long for Formula One, it hasn't worked out. But I think Marty's a good shout to go, why? Maybe even Taylor Barnard, who was in Formula.
Yeah, that's like, but we had it with Maximilian Gunther, but normally, like, Maximilian Gunther was at the end of the tether. There for a little bit. But then, you know, you get drivers like Taylor Barnard. Like, Taylor Barnard wasn't at a fabulous team, you know, in Formula 2, and that doesn't help you either. So if you're not at a fabulous team, like a Prema or, you know, someone Invictus, I'm not a big Formula 2 person, but I know Prema are probably one of the best known for getting people into Formula 1. But he wasn't at one of those. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, if I can't show off my skills here, then I'll go somewhere else to show off my skills. And I think that's where Taylor was. Whereas Maximilian Gunther was in, you know, Oliver Rowland was in Formula 2, Sam Bird was in, you know, most of these drivers have been in Formula 2 at some point, stage of their career, the younger ones. And it didn't quite work out. And it's fine if it didn't quite work out, because then you've got series like Formula E, the World Endurance Championship, IndyCar to kind of fall back into, right? And get a chance there if you're still semi-decent in those series.
I think, looking at all, they've all been in Formula 2 and quite a lot of them in Formula 1.
Yeah, of course. So the older generation. Yeah. It's amazing to say now that, you know, they are the older generation, the John Eric Burns. It feels like just yesterday they were in Formula 1, but
that's something to touch upon. Do you remember when John O'Verne came into the Formula E world, how angry he was in Punta del Este, shoved it on pole position, and then realised, oh, hang on a minute, I can't regen.
Yeah. But, you know, it was a great coup for Formula E at the time, and I still think Formula E need that. Like, I would have loved to have seen Daniel Ricciardo in this paddock, but obviously Daniel Ricciardo had other ideas and what he wanted to do, and I don't think he was ever approached. But, like, you needed those drivers like a Checo, for example. I know he's got a Cadillac seat, but you kind of wanted to nick someone with a good name, because that also gets eyeballs on this series. And, you know, we want eyeballs on this series. And I'm not saying that these drivers, we're creating some stars like the Taylor Barnards of this world. But, like, the stars, most people know who Mitch Evans is. Most people know who Sebastian Vettel is. Most people know who Jean-Eric Verne is. So,
yeah,
if they didn't have a massive following before, then, you know, they're not going to have a big following here.
What do you think what I'm about to say with this? I think Formula E made a big mistake when they didn't try to keep Stoffel Van Dorn in a lot more.
Nah, I think Van Dorn's time, unfortunately, was up. Van Dorn was very popular at the beginning. Like, you have to remember, he won all the fan boost votes every single time, and it was just a popularity contest.
Most fan boosts of
but
anybody
unfortunately, since he won his title, it just didn't work for him. You know, he went to DS, got outshone by Verne.
Yeah.
You know, goes to Maserati, doesn't set the world alight there. You know, like, he won the title, and really his remaining seasons weren't anything to write home about until he won in Tokyo. But that was a slice of luck and strategy. He didn't do it on pure pace. So
it's so more cars on track, by the way. But yeah.
You can see why he hasn't got a seat.
Yeah, I can see why, and it's disappointing in many respects as well. He did sort of fall off towards the end. Although the Nicky is saying hashtag Van Boost, as it was, to come into
I think I've lost you, Josh.
Can you hear me, Jack? Hello?
Can't hear you.
Okay. Jack, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, so Jack's lost me in audio connection at the moment. Let's catch up with what's happening in the chat. Where are we? VRDN says, don't you all think Silverstone is just too long for F3? It's almost 3 times the current F3 tracks. Presumably they'd use either the international or the national circuit that the touring cars use as well. Linky, you've put, that's my opinion too, use Gen 2 cars for Junior Series. There is a need to change in mentality, so all the other series will always be a backup choice no matter the prestige. I think that's sadly the case coming into it. And a man says, isn't there an FG series starting in 2026? Well, when the boys can hear me again, we'll have a discussion about upcoming series, because we've also got the start. Remember, Extreme E just ended and the Extreme H started over in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting run. So it will be quite an interesting time to see. Hello, boys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you indeed. Good, good, good.
Yeah, I think we just lost our Wi-Fi there for a brief second. We've kind of reconnected.
Wonderful that we have been able to reconnect as well coming through. So, yeah, what do you think then about the possibility? Now, Armin has asked, is there an FG series starting in 2026?
Oh, I feel like the less said about FG at the moment. God knows what's going on there. They want to start something. It seems like they make progress, and then they seem to just absolutely halt their progress, and nothing happens, and then they reappear again. Honestly, I don't think anyone has really massively followed FG too much, simply because they don't seem to know what's going on themselves, right? And until there's anything actual concrete that comes out of the FG series run by Nick Heidfeld, then maybe we can start opening our eyes a little bit to that. But I think really and truly, to me, that looks like a direct competitor to Formula E. It doesn't look like that would be some form of support series. I feel like, obviously, Dilbag Gill was part of this championship and has Lesiev championship, and obviously became good friends with Nick Heidfeld.
He did, yeah.
What their motives are for this championship, that interests me slightly. Like, why did they feel the need to start it? Good question. And I think, and because we've got Formula E, so I don't know what the FG series will bring. Whether they are marketing themselves as a support series, or are they a direct competitor to Formula E? And I just think, because they're not FIA associated, I think that's why it's kind of very quiet and in and out. Is because they just don't have the funding. They don't have the backing, basically, to get off the ground. And it's a shame, because it'd be nice to maybe have. But yeah, I also question the motive around it. Like, why is it necessary? Like, why do we need it? We've already got Formula E. Does Formula E need a competitor? Probably not, because that's not going to help electric mobility, or maybe it will help electric mobility. Who knows? But then we don't want to start raising costs between each championship just to fight to see who's the fastest. I think that's a bit counterintuitive.
I must admit, looking at it and taking a look at 2 cars, 1 series, I don't know, not FIA backed, I don't think it'll go off the ground that quickly, because we know that Formula...
Well, it hasn't yet.
Yeah. What was it? FIA Formula E is the only electric series until 2040, something or other?
51, if
2051. Wow.
Option is extended.
Yeah, a long time. Lewis has said, I think if there's going to be a junior support category in Gen 4 with Gen 3 cars, then it should be mixed gender like Extreme E was. I think that's fair.
I think so. These, honestly, I know we've got the women's test, and I don't want to dampen the women's test. And I know I'm not here for it on the Friday, but okay, it's great. Well done. Congratulations that you've got the women's test. But none of these drivers are getting anywhere close to getting into a Formula E car anytime soon. So you need something more, and maybe a mixed gender series. Every team has to have 1 female, 1 male driver, for example. Just an idea. Might work, so that those female drivers can then race against the male counterparts, and then we can make a decision. And some Formula E teams might make a decision to go, actually, like, this person needs to be looked at a little bit more seriously. In terms of a driver, maybe that gets more female representation into into the series, but currently, yes, great. The women have a chance to drive these cars, but it's just the same every year. That the women get the chance to drive these cars, but there's actually no end product. There's no, Jamie Chadwick, arguably the best female racing driver in history, possibly. Has she got anywhere close to driving in Formula E with the amount of tests that she's done? No.
Further back, isn't it?
So it's like, what are we achieving? If it's just a nice showcase event, all right, fairs, nice bit of marketing, fairs, but actually there's no substance behind it. So if there's no substance behind it, we'll stick to 20 male drivers at this precise moment, and the females can just have their little time twice a year just to show that we're a fabulous series. But really and truly, we're just doing it for a nice PR marketing side of things and not actually helping these girls get into a race seat in a major championship.
Now, the ERA Championship, the only other alleged championship, that only ran in 2022 for a couple of races. So that has not been seen in 3 years, which is scary to think about coming in. But Formula E really is the only electric one at the moment. Is that an advantage or disadvantage, Jack? Because having only one electric series compared to all the other combustion engine series that you get around, it's a difficult car to learn to drive, this Formula E one. Are the sort of the rookies that are thrown in at a disadvantage, and are the women at a disadvantage to try and work out this car in such a short amount of time that they get before they're then thrown back into the world of normal aspirated engines?
Yeah, so this just shows how great you are at adapting, basically, because, you look at Taylor Barnard, took to it like duck to water. Some people, it does take longer. And even go back to Jake Hughes, I don't think you can afford to have learning time anymore. But that's why I think this year was actually the best year for rookies like Pepe Marti and Felipe Drugovich to get that year's experience, because really and truly it's like, okay, right, most teams are thinking about Gen 4. So if they're thinking about Gen 4, then you've got a year to kind of learn the systems, learn how to race, and get ready for Gen 4, because then it's a whole reset for everybody. Every driver and everyone's got to learn a whole new car anyway. But at least you've got some Formula E experience. So it's probably the best year for a rookie this year, because I said, you take the stress of it away from the drivers. And as long as they perform admirably and are doing a half decent job, then you keep them for Gen 4, and then you see how it goes. But yeah, I think that's probably the best way forward in terms of for the rookies and how it's going for them.
So, looking at the times at the moment, it's Nick De Vries fastest, 1:21.605. Jake Dennis is second, Pascal Wehrlein third, Nico Muller fourth, Eduardo Mortar fifth, Nick Cassidy is sixth.
I might call you me and then you can...
Max Gunther is in seventh, Ollie Rowland eighth, and Lucas Grassi ninth, with Joel Eriksson rounding out the top 10 coming into it.
I'll go back to voting.
Jack? Had something from Jack there.
Hello, it's the other one.
Hello, Pico. You swapped back. Hello, Pico. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We thought we'd swap back for a bit. Yeah. Just to give Jack a little rest. Yes, good. Nice little half hour off. So yeah, I thought I'd come back out and now give Jack a little rest.
Bit longer than half hour. He's on for nearly an hour.
Was it?
Yeah, he really got into a good topic there.
I thought I went in about 10. I came out about 10 minutes ago, but it's having a nice little hour. So I thought, I'll just wait until he switches back over. But yeah.
Yeah, 1 hour 15 to go now in this one as well. What have you been witnessing there in your little break? How's the media centre? Is it buzzing?
Not really. No, I think everyone's just kind of like engrossed in what they're doing. They're focusing on themselves, making sure that they've got something to do. But yeah, it's been nice to have like a little half hour off, just watching the timing screen, seeing how everyone's doing. But yeah, now back out on the balcony. It's a little bit warmer than when I was out here before, but I'm still getting a cold bum sitting on the concrete. But yeah.
It's a shame that I'm not there actually, because we could have broadcast from the media centre, and then we could have had a headset, and everybody could have come in and had a conversation from all the journalists there and dragged some drivers in. That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Maybe next year, eh?
yeah, it would be really good, but yeah.
So, what do you think then about what we've been discussing? I don't know if you've kept across it. What do you think about having Gen 2 or Gen 3 as a support series for Formula E? And who would you get to fill it? Because not many drivers are going to want to come in and change over.
That's the thing. I feel like, yes, Formula E does need a sport series, but I'm not sure if going through lower or using one of the old Gen 2 or Gen 3 cars and just using like a small powertrain, something like that. I'm not sure that's the way. I really like the idea of the next Gen Cup, which is what we had for. Well, we were supposed to have it for a couple of races, I think in season 10. And from what I've heard here, it could be about for Berlin and Monaco next season. So we might get to see that. I'm not sure where they're going to do it in Monaco, because where they can house everything in Monaco, because usually where they put all the teams, lorries and everything like that, that's usually the fan zone for Formula E. So
they've all a bit.
But yeah, I'd go down the touring like a little. Honestly, my ideal series, and I'm not sure if you've seen one of these before, but annoyingly they're not in the series anymore because Renault has now become Nissan. I really wanted a Renault Twizy Cup.
Yeah, I'm
not sure if you've seen a Twizy.
I've sat in a Twizy. I've been in a Twizy. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Very cool little cars.
I think that would make an insanely fun little series. I mean, if you have an altercation with someone, all you need to do is just reach out and punch them. It's but seeing like 20 of those like whizzing round like some, it would have worked for some of the earlier circuits. I can imagine them going around Brands Hatch and having a good race, but
Hong Kong would have been fun.
Yeah. Back in season 1, we had the school series or something like that, where they had like lots of schools like set up a small EV car. It looked like a gravity racer, and then they'd race around the circuit, and it was diabolical.
Do you know, I've actually raced one of those. I've driven one of those little cars.
Have you?
I have.
I was supposed to, and then I got told I wasn't allowed because so when I did my motorsports engineering course at college, one of the projects we had was a gravity racer project. And just before I was about to go in my run, someone from one of the other teams, who was also quite a larger gentleman, let's say,
modest,
decided to roll it, and out of caution, they're like, "Well, you're fat as well.
Oh, great!
We're not letting you in." Like, okay, great, thank you.
How cruel! That's really mean.
Yeah, no, it sucked, but I got over it quick. Like, it would have been fun, but well. 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago. Blimey, it's insane, that one. But yeah,
I don't like that.
It's wow. Yeah,
we're getting old.
Ago. We are getting old. I don't like that. Somebody quick, get the anti-aging gun. That'll do it.
Yeah.
So
there are kids in like F2 and F3 that were born in like 2008 or something. Like, that's not right. I remember 2008.
Feel old now. Feel really, really old.
Yeah.
Jeez. Do you know, I'm honestly trying to think, actually. Formula One, we've now got drivers. The champion, Oscar Piastri, who could be the champion this year. That's really setting me because he's from the 21st century.
Yeah. Well, there was a stat that that Karun Chandok brought out on the Sky Sports commentary in Mexico that to have been alive for Ferrari to win their last Formula One world title, you would now have to be an adult. which
2007.
that's a horrible statistic. Yeah, 2007 when Kimi won the championship.
Oh my God, he's right. Karun's right.
Yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Karun usually is right. He's a very good asset to broadcasting.
Oh no. 18 years ago.
18 years since Ferrari last won a Formula One world title. Well, won the drivers' world title. They won the constructors in 08, but
I feel really old. Does anyone else feel really old now watching this broadcast? Yeah. My favourite driver won it for Ferrari, says Nicky. Is that Kimi Räikkönen? Well, 18 years later, it looks like it's a repeat between Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Norris now champion.
yeah. I've seen that. People comparing it to 2007. Cars just trip over each other. Max comes from behind, but
I'm telling you now, Brazil in 2 weeks' time is going to be a Fuji 07 style race. Got that feeling.
well, as in like a washout, or
It's going
just
Oh, hello. Hang on. I'm getting a phone call. Sorry, can't answer that. To come through. I do apologise. But yeah. Yeah, I think it will be a 2007 style race. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like I know this is a Formula E stream, but this end of this Formula One season is going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to it. For me, as long as it goes to Abu Dhabi, that's the important thing for me. I want a title on the line in the last race of the year, because we used to get it. It's become very rare these last few years. We've had 2 in the last 10.
Yeah, we have.
Which is
yeah.
horrible, considering that it used to be every other year from 2008 up until 2016. So, and then before that, obviously 2007 went down to the wire. It was great, and most years like it would be somewhat there or thereabout. I know that like Mansell won in Hungary. Schumacher won it in 04 with like 5 races to go as well. So yeah, but we haven't had like a proper title fight in Formula One for a while.
Yeah, the last
one.
Whereas in this series,
Whereas in this series, Ollie Rowland won it with the most amount of races to go last year, joint with Antonio Felix da Costa. He won it in the 3rd to last race.
And made London completely irrelevant and completely boring. So not really great.
Yeah, and it was the first time that the championship wasn't won at the final location of the season, because obviously that Antonio Felix da Costa one was the 6 races in 9 days. So they were in Berlin when da Costa won the title. They just had 2 more races to go later that week.
On a better circuit, I'd argue. That extended layout was brilliant.
Yeah.
I wish they'd do more with Berlin. I like the circuit we have at the moment.
Yeah.
But I wish they'd do more. There's chance to do more.
Yeah, I made this is going back years ago, but I did make I did make a design of what I wanted the Berlin track to be like, and I will try and find it and send it over to you. But it's about the same length as the current Formula E track is. It's about 2.4, 2.5 kilometers.
Which is weird that that's the maximum you can have for Formula E track. But in Formula One, you can't go above 7.
Yeah.
Mad, especially with Formula E being as fast.
Well, one thing that absolutely flabbergasted me was that when we went to Homestead this year, that was the longest Formula E track in history, beating Beijing, which was the first ever Formula E race back in season 1. Yes, it was there in season 2 as well, but season 2 had a modification with the chicane on one of the straights and got rid of that. So, yeah, from the very first race of Formula E back in 2014, the longest track was Beijing up until April this year when we were in Miami.
Do you think that Berlin? Wait. I've lost. Beijing. Damn it. did Beijing work?
Yeah. I know that and I don't know where it is in Beijing, but I know that GT World Series or something, they were in Beijing a few weeks ago, from what I'm aware. I'm sure I saw that on social somewhere. But Beijing, I think, kind of, I think it worked. I think it was a good venue for me. But I'm very happy with Shanghai. I even said to, and this is going to be a blast from the past, I said to Jerry,
Wow, that's a blast from the
which
past.
was the Neo boss back in 2018. I said, I think Formula E, if they were to go to permanent circuits, I'd say go Shanghai. And I said that in 2018. So
they did it.
I was very happy that we finally went there. Yes, last year was a bit of a dud, but the year before provided some good racing. And so I think, like, personally, they need to tweak the layout a little bit just so it's not just half of the F1 track. There's not much they can do, obviously, but again, I have my designs. But yeah, the thing that I don't understand is going back to Sanya. Sanya, for me, doesn't make sense as a race. I know that Formula E want to be very proactive in China, so that's why we've got another race in China. But Sanya seemed like, especially when it came on the calendar in season 5, it seemed like a race that didn't really fit the ethos then, in terms of the Sanya race. And I know that you were talking about London and Brands Hatch earlier on. The Sanya circuit is about 35 kilometers east of Sanya city, on Hainan Island, and Hainan Island is not easy to get to at the best of times, and it just, for me, it surprises me that we're kind of going back there, because it's a race in the middle of nowhere, and all it has around it is the resorts. It's not, for me, it's one of my least favorite venues for Formula E I think we've ever done.
Is it going to be the same circuit, do we know, or are they going to change it up? Because there's not much room in Sanya in order to have a different version.
No, so it will be the same location, but I believe we're getting a modified circuit, and it's being extended quite substantially. I haven't seen any images or anything like that. I'm not sure if I will see anything this week or anything. I'd be very surprised if I do. But from what I've heard, they're extending that first sector. So for those who may or may not remember the Sanya E-Prix, it was mostly them using one side then the other of a highway, of a dual carriageway. But there was a little where they had the pit lane and that area was a small little like car park area that they were able to have it in and then go back out. That's the bit that I believe they're extending, and it's going to go all the way up to where the resort is. But even then it doesn't feel like personally, it doesn't feel like a great venue. I think it's sad that we've lost Jakarta, but it was the quality of the circuit this year. The fact that we had the times in every session got worse and worse and worse, and it was just incredibly mucky by the end of it, and it was deemed that it wasn't suitable enough to have Formula E go there, which I think it's a terrible shame, because that, as far as I'm aware, that's the first circuit that was built with Formula E in mind. That, because yes, you could say like Berlin is on Berlin's on Tempelhof, but they like, right, okay, let's go to Tempelhof, let's design a track around it. They actually built on what was basically wasteland this circuit in Jakarta, and I think that they did a fantastic job. I think it was genuinely one of my favourite races of the year.
Me too. Last year was amazing.
Yeah. Admittedly, when I was there in 2022, I'd walk out the media centre and after about 30 seconds, it looked like I'd run a marathon. But yeah, it was still a great pace for a race. The Indonesian support is absolutely incredible. So that's why I'm fairly certain that Jakarta isn't off the cards. I mean, I'm not going to go disturb him right now, but Jeff Dodds is just over to my left.
Come on,
but we've got a round table with him. We've got a round table with him tomorrow, so we will be able to have some juicy gossip for you. But it is in the middle of the session. But
go on, Pico. We've got an hour to fill. Go and have a word with him. Go have a word. Go on.
He's in the middle of a convo at the moment. When he stops, I might.
When he stops, go and have a word with him. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I am just keeping an eye to my left as well. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'll see. Yeah, I'll see what we can do with that. But
we are live, remember, so we've got to fill time.
Yes.
He's the big boss.
I know.
go get the big boss.
So I'll give it a second. I'll and then I'll head on over. But but yeah, I think Jakarta is still very much on the cards for a future event. Because the Angkor region wasn't the original idea for Jakarta. It's going to be a downtown venue around a monument. I've forgotten the name of the monument, but yeah, there is plenty of space there. There is to be able to have a circuit and a pit lane next to it, and so yeah, I reckon they will be working very, very hard on getting back to Indonesia, and that will potentially be something that I put to Jeff. So.
Is he still talking?
So for me, Sanya isn't really a region that interests me, but I think Jakarta would come back some point soon.
I hope Jakarta's come back because my friend did the karate championship there, and he said about how it is a bit of a wasteland area, but it's it's growing, it's upcoming, which I think is going to be good. Is he still talking?
Yeah. Yes, he is. I'm keeping. I will let you know. I will let you know, and then I'll try and doorstep him.
Yeah, just doorstep him and get him in. Yeah, but do the old Ted Kravitz bump into and start having a conversation.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful guy, though. Jeff.
I did that. My first ever interview was with Valtteri Bottas. He did a talk at the Oxford Town Hall, and I didn't get my question in. So at the end of it, I just I turned on my phone microphone and I just doorstepped him like Martin Brundle on a grid walk and had a chat with him. So yeah, and that even though he didn't really understand my question, but I didn't care. That was like the first time I was like, this is incredible. I'm interviewing a Formula One driver. So yeah. And look at me now. I'm sitting on a balcony in Valencia. Dreams can come true.
They absolutely can come true. And now you're going to go interview Jeff Dodds in a second and see what he's going to say.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you do here.
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye and I'll let you know whether it's possible.
Just go dive bomb in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll run you through the times then while we wait. If you get him, just interrupt me. De Vries 121.6, Mortara 121.627. The two Mahindra separated by 27 thousandths. But then Jake Dennis is third, 121.669, 69 thousandths off the pace of the two Mahindras. Porsche 4 and 5. Verline ahead of Muller 121.777 to 121.848. Gunther 6th, 122.045. Cassidy in 7th, 122.122. DaCosta 8th, 122.239. Roland 9th, 122.261. Exactly the same time as his teammate Norman Nato, to the nearest thousandth of a second. That's something to see. How is it then, Pico? Any news?
No, it's still nattering. I reckon if we just keep on nattering, and then I'll let you know.
Excellent.
Kind of when, and then I'll
Lucas,
I'll keep posted.
Lucas de Grassi is 11th on a 122.270. Felipe Djokovic in 12th on a 122.282. Jolexen in 13th on a 122.318. Sebastian Buemi 14th, 122.334. Taylor Barnard 15th, 122.468. Zane Maloney in 16th, 122.520. Dan Ticktum 17th, 122.554. Jean-Luc Verne in 18th on a 122.678. Jose Maria Martin 19th, 122.827. And Mitch Evans is 20th, 123.943. So then, Pico, I think one of the questions you should ask the headmaster is, should we have a support series in Formula E?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a fair question. Obviously, I think how much I'll get out of him is we'll see. But
also ask him about Brands Hatch. Are we going to Brands Hatch? Get all the juicy ones. Yeah, get it into.
Yeah, I know that the UK is obviously a very important venue for Formula E, and I've heard Alberto's spoken about it as well, and so whatever happens, season 13 there will be a venue that will host Formula E in the United Kingdom, but we just don't know where yet.
I see that Johnny's waiting in the FE bar waiting room. We'll bring him up in a few moments' time, just as we wait. So, Johnny, if you're there, just stay with us and we'll get to you, because we're just waiting on Jeff Dodds to see if he's going to fly in. Question for you, Pico, from the Nicky. Guys, do we know if the teams are running any particular test program?
In particular, obviously, like we've alluded to, we've got the mock race this afternoon. But we'll have to see. You're right, Toby. How are you? Good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Do you want to come on? Do you want to say anything important?
No.
How's your day going?
Didn't much happen today, to be honest. We'll just have some interviews during the midday break, but yeah, quite. Yeah, I would say quite an easy day today.
Yeah, found anything? Any gossip? Anything interesting?
To be honest, not until now. No. What about you? Some gossip?
No, nothing. We've honestly been waffling for the last hour or so. Jack came in and covered me for about 45 minutes, and then I've come back, and we're going to see if we can doorstep whenever he's finished chatting. So yeah, do you think it will work?
I think so.
Okay, there we go. We got some positivity from Toby. Yeah. I won't know you. Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. Right, there we go. Toby Verts, me, Formal D, giving me the confidence to go and approach Jeff Dodds in a few minutes' time.
Sorry, Pico, were you throwing back to me then?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I had my earphone off. I was just listening to a voice note from one of the media reps to come through. Is that Toby? Nicky's just said. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yes. That was Toby. Yeah. Thing is, I was sitting down, so I was just trying to reach up as high as possible to get the mic onto him. But that was Toby. And we heard from him yesterday when we went to go see the Taylor Barnard car that stopped. But it's been a fairly uneventful session this morning. I'm not sure if you've seen if there's any yellow flags.
Nothing.
Or there certainly hasn't been a red so far.
Nothing, not a thing so far this morning. They've been very well behaved in the past 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, obviously this is the last year of this cycle, so if anything will work, it's going to be this year. So, you'd kind of expect everything to go plain sailing compared to the last couple of years.
Is Jeff still talking?
Still nattering. In that, you know what Jeff's saying.
Yeah.
talk for a bit.
You probably have enough for the next 50 minutes or so if you could.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm just going to hover until he looks like he's finished talking, and then I'm just going to try and doorstep him. So
Try and
we'll
catch
just keep
his
on
eye.
filling till then.
Give him a wave.
I've got I can't say we've just got Grassy just come in, just coming into the pits, just literally just below where I am. So yeah, yeah, a little bit of a mucky rear wing, but apart from that, it seems fairly positive. As the other only Yamaha, as they Maloney can pass me on the front straight. But yeah, this is. I mean, it's great for the teams that testing is nice and uneventful. But I mean, like for us, from a broadcast point of view, it's come on, someone do.
Yeah. Prodding a stick, isn't it? It's like, come on, it's a bit on the touring cars. Do you remember when we did that trackside? I was like, come on, guys, do something. Prod with a stick. Get something to do.
Yeah.
But it's getting there. They're improving, I think, a little bit, which is nice. But just 50 minutes to go this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you reckon we're going to see more action this afternoon? Because, of course, they did the simulation race, and then they're going to go out there with the, whatchamacallits.
Well, yeah, I think you'll see some action in the simulation race, 100%. But then we will also have that little lull whilst everyone resets, and then it'll only be about a 90-minute session. So we actually lose a solid kind of hour of running. I did see on some notes, I believe, from FE Notebook that the race it's either 27 or 37 laps, and I can't remember which one it is. Whichever one's closest to 100 kilometers. I'm not sure if someone can do the math. I think this circuit's about 3.3 miles, so I think it'll be 27. I think it's 27 laps, but yeah, because because Formula E. This is one thing that I really want Formula E to. I really want Formula E to have just a longer race. Just do longer races. This is what I think. This is why I've been very advocate, and anyone who's watched me on the FE bar will know that I'm very much an advocate for having a sprint race and a feature race. Just so we can see the different. So you've got the longevity of the feature race, and you've got the fast charging and everything like that. But you've also got the cars going at full pelt, racing wheel to wheel, and will that produce a less exciting race? Maybe because they're all flat out, we'll be pushing it to the limit. But yeah, we'll have to. We'll have to see. It's something that I'd quite like to see, but whether we'd see it or not is another thing.
I'm looking forward to this now, because how long can Jeff talk for, though?
We'll have to see.
He's just literally who's he talking with? Do you know?
It's someone from Formula E, but I don't know who it is.
Actual journalist.
No, it's not another journalist. It's someone who works
For Formula E. Right.
Yeah. I just don't know.
Because I don't know actually who's there. Although, tell you what though, if there's anybody who can get into us doing the Formula E stuff in London, it's Jeff Dodds. And maybe mention that we could do the commentary for the grandstands as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'll obviously mention that we are live.
Yeah. Let them know that we're live.
Yeah. Just so make sure that I don't think I've ever heard him swear, but yeah, there is that kind of risk.
Always best to know that he's live. De Vries has gone fastest, by the way, 121.6 fastest, less than an hour to go. Mahindra's looking pretty handy so far. De Vries clocked in Valencia 126 flat. But it's always satisfying to see that times like that. He's had a few times deleted for track limits. The Dutchman has Mortar for company, only 200s behind him. So far, good morning for Mahindra. Looks like they are back there, PK Mahindra, which is good news, although we said that about Maserati in Season 9.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I remember speaking to Damien, the PR representative from Mahindra in London, is that the first couple of years that he was there, because I believe he started season 9, I think it was. And so the first couple of years, it was basically just like trying to turn like 12th place into a positive story. So now that like Mahindra are actually there or thereabout, it's actually just to be able to go like, look, we had a fantastic weekend. Just instead of going like, yay, we got a point, because that was what Mahindra's vibe was for the first couple for season 9, season 10. So, but yeah, I think that, but especially like when I started following the series back when it started, Mahindra was always the team to support. They always like really looked after their fans. They were always like super supportive of everyone. So yeah, I think it's fantastic that they're back. Back where they belong. And obviously remember back to season 3, season 4, you had Felix and Chris who had some stellar runs in that in those years. But yeah, season 8 to season 10 was basically a write-off, and then they scored more than that in season 11 alone. So yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't write them off for the championship at all, but it's certainly interesting. I mean, like they arguably should have won in Jakarta with Nick de Vries, who's just was past me. Mortara came close on a couple of occasions as well. So yeah, we'll have to see. And Mortara goes past me, so they're running a couple seconds apart at the moment.
Oh,
so
he's just gone fastest.
Yeah.
121.493. De Vries did a 121.586. So they've now gone 1-2 at the moment, because Mortara's gone fast on that last lap time by.
Yeah, good running from Mahindra. But the thing is, as we know, testing means almost nothing.
Sadly,
it is. Yeah, it's not too important, because obviously we get to the race and everything. We're different. That said, I remember being in Harama last year and saying, Jaguar look dicey, and even though they had the win in Sao Paulo, they weren't on the same level as Porsche and Nissan, which makes their comeback last season even more remarkable to finish second in the team's championship.
I'm with you on that one as well. What do you think about Nissan then? 10th and 11th right now, rolling ahead of NATO. Are we going to expect to see another year where Ollie Rowland dominates at the front? Because I don't see many people trying to stop him, really.
I think Ollie has got this series sussed out now. So, yeah, we saw him even when he was in like a kind of, I don't want to say mediocre car, but not one that was fighting for wins. We saw him be able to pull out results, and he properly got into the peloton format. He was able to read those races exceptionally well, arguably the best on the grid at reading those races. But yeah, well, we'll have to see.
Well, I've dragged Johnny up into the booth. Johnny, welcome back, my friend. Nice to have you on again for day 2. What did you make of day 1, and what do you want to talk about on day 2?
Yeah, hello, good morning. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Good morning to you. You doing well?
Yeah, all good, all good. Being really optimistic with Mahindra. They are topping the charts. Yesterday also they had a pretty good run. Today also they are having a pretty good run as well. Hopefully this translates in the upcoming season as well. So let's see.
Are you happy that Mortar and De Vries, they seem to be beating each other quite consistently? Do you think that they could be having a inter-team rivalry this year?
Yeah, I think so. This time the WEC dates don't clash with Formula E, I think. So I think they will be participating in all the races, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Yeah, I think you're right with that one, yeah. What do you think about everything else that's happening? Because we've got Mahindra, Porsche, 1, 2, 4, and 5 with Andretti, with Dennis in the middle. Anyone surprised you out there at the moment on day 1 and 2?
Not really. The same people who are there on top are the ones who are usually there. I would say surprising is maybe Cassidy with Citroen. Citroen being a new team, being up in top 10 is a really noteworthy performance by Citroen. I don't know how true the timing is as of now since it is testing, but yeah, Citroen is one to look up to see how far they have this thing developed the car when the season starts.
Do you reckon that we're
Apart
going?
from,
So go on.
sorry,
No, after you.
yeah. So let's see when the season starts. The actual standings we will be able to see. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you think is going to be the more shocking that they don't improve?
Shocking. It's Formula is just so competitive. You can't have any shocking guesses. One like last year, you see Cassidy and Jaguar were nowhere in the first half of the season. They had a lot of problems, and then the end part of the season, they were like winning all the races. So Formula is such a competitive series that you can turn around your season very easily.
Johnny, I hope
So
I hope you come back in the afternoon session and throughout the rest of the days. What are you expecting? Are you looking forward to the simulation race later on today?
yeah, of course. I'll be looking out for it. Hopefully, it gives some idea of the season to come. Hopefully, and yeah, we might relate it to this standings for the upcoming season. Yeah.
I can't wait. Thank you very much, and we'll please
Thank you.
do come back throughout the day.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mike.
See you later, Johnny.
Cheers.
See you later. Thank you very much. Pico, can you still hear me? He's got his mic muted at the moment. Hello.
2 seconds, Josh. Do some filling for me.
I will, Phil. Do not worry. If you can get hold of Jeff Dodds, that's the big thing. So, Sebastian Wemby is just coming back out onto the circuit. It is, as I said, as well, thanks to Johnny for dropping in. If you want to be on air, this is your show. Join the Formula E Zone Discord. The link is in the chat below as well, and you can get in and join the FE Bar waiting room, and we'll drag you up to the main chat, and we can have a conversation. This is the FE Bar for testing live here. You can get your say and come on the air. That's exactly what testing's about. We've got hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to kill across the next 3 days. So if you want to come on and have a conversation, you absolutely can. Pico.
Hello. Yes, I'm just doing a bit. Hello. What do you want to talk about?
I'm back now. I can hear you. Any news on Jeff?
Still talking.
Still talking. That man can talk for the planet as well at the moment. Okay, what do we want to talk about? How about the Lolas? What's the vibe down there now that we've got Mark back as team principal?
That was all. Actually, I was sorting out. Well, I can't really see. I'm not sure. You got a track map. I can't see the track map, so you can tell me where they are.
Lola are 9th for Maloney and Degrassi's 13th.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be difficult being their second year in the championship. So yeah, but yeah, they had a great year last year learning. Obviously, Zane didn't manage to get a point, but he will get one soon enough. He's a very, very quick driver. I am almost certain that he will be a bit more competitive this year now that he's learned the series. Lucas off.
Pico, I've lost you.
Go back up. Where? How about now?
I can hear you now. Hello.
I've gone up 2 steps. That's what works apparently.
That's the Wi-Fi for you. You don't have to get Jeff. Is Jeff below you or just on the same level as you?
He's kind of across to me by about 12 foot.
Just casually walk over, catch his eye. Just like, come on, we need to have a word here.
Yeah.
I would have doorstepped by now. I would have got too impatient. You've seen me do it, my friend. I'll just go in and go, right, sorry, need to have a word here. We're live. We've got time to fill. Gunther's out there on the circuit. He's gone 7th, but still a 1-2 from Mahindras. And now Dennis coming to the pit lane. So 5 cars out on track. 15 are in the pit lane as things stand. I've got a feeling, though, that Taylor Barnard might just be coming into the pit lane. Not looking too fast over the line. Is he going to continue on? No, he does continue on.
No, he just gone past.
How's he looking out there? A bit more competitive compared to yesterday?
That was a lot of time lost, and so yeah, he'll be back out. Right, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to try and doorstep Jeff. Okay.
Do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
How are you? How
are you?
Yeah, good.
Do you mind if we have a quick word? We're live at the moment.
I am just heading with this man to do the donation.
Okay.
So I'll catch you later.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
No worries. Cheers, Jeff.
Damn.
No.
Damn. Good try. Good try.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thought I'd give it a go. He did say that he'll catch me later, so I might try and find him a little bit later on. We'll see.
Yeah.
But,
Damn.
yeah, worth a try.
Worth a try. Always worth a try. He's a busy bloke, though, is Jeff.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, he really is. Like, it's.
I think next year we're coming with microphones, headset, bus mixers, computers. We're doing this trackside. I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
We'll get him in.
Sounds good. Ollie Rowland's just come into the pits in front of me, so he'll be heading back down to his garage.
What's the like? Have you been out for a patrol in the paddock this morning then? At all? Is that this afternoon?
A little bit, but not a huge amount. Usually, like when I go down there, it's when someone's having problems or something, so I can bang on the wall of the beach garage and go, "What's happening?" And I haven't had to do that today so far, so yeah.
Something better, I suppose.
But I might try and get a slightly different angle for. Oh, hang on. Just they've delayed Jeff, so I can have a little chat with him.
Go for it.
Percy, how are you?
All right. Yeah, how are you?
How was your off season?
You don't really have an off season in Formula E. So all the stuff when we're racing, the things we don't have time to go and do, well, they all happen in the off season. So it's not really an off season, but yeah, itching to get ready for this one. So feels like this is the official first day of the start of the new season for me.
Fantastic. And have you been up and down? What have you found?
So I arrived at midnight last night.
Wow.
So I haven't had a lot of time. I've been into a few garages in some of the teams. There's a bit of nervous energy down there. They begin to kind of find their place on the track. So no, I've caught up with a few people there. I'm here right the way through to the end of Friday, so I've got a whole week to catch up with.
Fantastic. And obviously being back here, like obviously
Amazing, yeah.
everything that happened last year, and
Yeah.
it was incredible to move everything over to Madrid so quickly.
Yeah.
But how good is it to be back? Because this is obviously the home of Formula E now.
Yeah.
We moved back here a few years ago.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
2019.
fantastic.
Well, look, so the first thing I would say is, if I'm really honest, it's the first time I've ever been here. Because I started in season 9, and I wasn't at testing for season 10, and then obviously Harama last year, where we had to move it. It was my first time here. So, but getting the reaction of everybody else, it's wonderful to see it. So, no, I mean, we've been coming here a long time. We have an office here actually, and we have storage here so it's kind of our spiritual home in Spain. Spain's becoming even more important for us, not just the people who founded Formula E from Spain, but obviously we have our first race ever in Spain, in Madrid. So Spain's an important part of our DNA. So it feels good. And what an amazing job. I mean, I can't believe in the photos and the pictures I saw last year, the incredible job they've done bringing this back to life. But if you look at the city, obviously they've got many years of recovery still ahead of them. So continuing to support that is really important for us.
And yeah, Madrid, obviously one of the new races for next year. How much are you looking forward to the new venues we got?
Super excited. Well, so it's not just, so obviously we stay in Miami, but we go to the Hard Rock Circuit, so MIA. So I'm really excited about that. We've got some special entertainment we're planning for that, so I won't give away too much, but excited for that. Back in Sanya, so doubling down on China, obviously the world's largest EV market, so that's really important for us. And then first ever race in Madrid, and they had the press conference in Madrid last week, Governor of Madrid, and actually we have a really high number of ticket sales already through from Madrid, and we haven't really officially launched it yet. So things are bode really well for our first Spanish race. Yeah, excited.
One of the races that isn't going to be on the calendar from this year to next year is Indonesia in Jakarta. Yeah. Is that a market that you're looking to go back to?
Yeah.
Because we've seen the amount of people that come out to the races. They even rocked up on the Friday a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So is that one that you're just trying to move to a different venue for the Gen 4 potentially?
Yeah. So maybe not even move venues. So the simple answer is yes, we definitely want to be there. So we love racing there. It's a massive market. It's a big EV market. And we get a huge following there. So incredible TV viewership comes out of Indonesia for us, and we've got a lot of fans based out there. But you're quite right, having been there, you've been there and seen it.
I was there 22.
Yeah, so you get an enormous number of people come out to watch it, and they're very passionate motorsport fans. They obviously have a rich history there with MotoGP as well, so they've got lots of motorsport passion there. So we definitely want to be there. We couldn't quite get everything done in time for the announcement for the calendar for season 12. What that gives us is just a bit more time now to work through and get to the right answer, hopefully, for Gen 4. So, no, we definitely want to be there. I'm optimistic we'll be there. We've just got to work through it now and get it sorted.
And with Gen 4, because obviously that is coming, we'll see this here next year. Will be the first proper look at seeing all the cars.
Well,
on
you
Gen
might
4.
see it before that. You don't know.
But yeah, this will be the first time that they've run in anger.
Yeah, it's right. The first time it will kind of shake out, and we'll see who's. Because we're in the last year of Gen 3 now, so whilst they've been doing some good work in the off season, I don't think there'll be a few surprises. There always is over the next few days, but broadly we're at the end of a generation, so people kind of know where they are. Nobody has any idea where people are in the development of the Gen 4 cars. So I think really exciting next year we'll be seeing the Gen cars testing out for the first time against each other in a competitive environment, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some surprises.
Yeah, and there's huge anticipation around it. When do you think is there a date that's set in stone that we don't know yet, or
we say we don't know? You don't. I know.
Yeah. Well, you know. But when can you give us a rough time of when? We'll see it?
So a logical. So in terms of beginning to see a bit more of what the car might look like. In a very curated way, you'll probably see that over the coming weeks and months. And then the first time you'll see a car most likely on track for demonstration purposes officially will be, I would think, around Easter time of next year. And then obviously the cars are out testing from then onwards. You know, their own manufacturing teams testing will happen from then onwards, right the way through to this kind of time next year when you'll see the official test. So you won't have to wait long to see what a car might look like. But seeing it on track, you might have to wait a few more months.
One of the things we've had to we're doing live streams of every single session, so and then so that people get to hear about everything that's happening. One of the things that we've heard from quite a lot of the people in the chat is we'd like to see a support series at some point. Is that something that's kind of on the radar for FE? Maybe not Gen 4, but certainly in the future.
Yeah, but there are flavors of support series. So there's a support series which is a single make support series. So you know that. And I'm, by the way, don't read into any of this. I'm just speculating. So there could be a Porsche support series or a Jaguar we've had in the past, or Cupra, or Mahindra. So there's a single make support series. Then is there an opportunity to do a FE2 in the way that you get F2 against Formula One, or F4, F3, and F2? Is there an opportunity to do that? We've always said the first chance to do that realistically is after you launch Gen 4. Because then you have another car available to do a support series with, which is a Gen 3 Evo car, which is a great car, by the way, an absolutely great car. So that's the first logical point to do it. We don't have anything to announce at this stage, but there's definitely work going on to understand what that could look like.
Awesome. Josh, have you got anything that you want to throw in?
Throw something controversial, Josh.
Throw something controversial. Jeff, it's Josh Birch up here in the comms box. Nice to see you as well. Hope you had a good winter. Question to you. Are we staying in London, or are we going to go to Brands Hatch or Silverstone? Because many people say they don't want Silverstone, but they wouldn't be minding Brands Hatch.
By the way, what have you seen so far? What livery do you like best?
I really like the Citroen.
It's cool, really good. It's cool.
Josh has asked about the future of London.
Yeah.
Obviously, it runs out at the end of this year.
Yep.
It's expected that we can't stay in there. So, what are the options that are on the table? Is there anything that you can say about a race in the UK?
Well, so first of all, definitely plan to race in the UK. Our head office is there. Our primary investor, lead investor is based there. Their head office is there. So we'll be in the UK. London, the current contract comes to an end at the end of Gen 4. We extended it out to the end of Gen 3. We extended it out to the end of Gen 3.
New
There's no
announcement
scoop.
there. New
No
announcement
scoop.
there. It's
There's
going to
no
be.
scoop
It's going to 4 more years, guys. 4 more years.
And I think I love it, the venue. I think it's a super cool venue. It's completely unique for motorsport. Every year we take people there, and every year people tell me they're blown away by seeing that indoor-outdoor race and the way it's constructed. We've always known it's going to be very difficult to run the Gen 4 car there. I forget exactly which turns they are, but is it 3 and 4? You've got a couple
I think it's 3 and 4.
You've got a couple of really, really tight turns there that are even difficult now for the Gen 3 car. Let alone when you've got a 600 kilowatt car, which is bigger in stature, going much faster through those areas, it doesn't work in the way that it's constructed today. So we would either have to materially turn the power down on the cars, but what we can't do is materially shrink the cars, right? Can't make them physically smaller. So I think it's unlikely that we'll be able to continue with London. Not 100% impossible, but very unlikely. And then we're looking at other potential street circuits in the UK that we could look at. And then we're also looking at other venues, fixed venues. And, I think I'm not telling any tales when I talk about, historically, Brands Hatch, Silverstone have been mentioned in dispatches, and there's an obvious reason for that. They're the two most famous circuits in the UK. So we're talking to the circuits in the UK. We're also exploring other street races, but we will be in the UK.
It's something like Brands or Silverstone, like you could utilize that for season 13 just as like a stopgap, and then potentially move back to London or Manchester or Birmingham.
Yeah, you absolutely could do. I mean, I would like to find our UK home for the start of Gen 4 and stay there, because the investment you make in a location that isn't going to be a long-term location is a little bit wasted, because you're trying to attract a new fan base. You have to build infrastructure, change circuit layout. You do all of that stuff and then don't go back there. Doesn't feel like a very good investment. So at the moment we're focused on knowing where we're going to race in the UK and being in the right place from the beginning of Gen 4.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Stuff, right?
Yeah.
See you.
Cheers, Jeff. See you later. There you go, Josh.
Brilliant. Nicely done, Pico. That was fantastic.
Right. How much left have we got? 24 minutes of waffle.
23 now, but yeah, not bad. Well, that was fantastic to hear from the FIA Formula E CEO, Jeff Dodds. I think he was quite open and honest. He's such a lovely bloke. As I said, I think he's one of the best sports runners of all. He always tells you straight, and he never lies or does anything. He's always like, I know this, let's talk about it, and this is how it goes. I think that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And there is a roundtable tomorrow that I'm sure Jack will be in or something like that. So he will find out some more info, and we'll be able to let you know it. Probably by the end of the session, because I believe it's during the morning session tomorrow. So he might be able to go, Jack be able to go on for like the final hour and just let you know what we found out, because it will not just be us as journalists. It will be like Nick Golding, it will be Sam Smith, and like everyone else in that round. So whoever's there,
and of course, we'll be hearing from Nick as well, because you're going to bring him on the show, aren't you?
At some point, yes. I believe that's Jack's domain. I'm not gonna. I feel like I flirt too hard with Nick, so I need to dial it back a bit. He is a married man.
Pico. By the way, your comments, everyone who's asked a question in the chat, we've noted them down, and they'll be brought up in the round table ahead of tomorrow. So don't worry. Just noted that down now.
Sorry, I don't have access to the chat. So I will, Josh, if you can make a note of them, then pass it on, and we'll sort that tomorrow.
Yeah, an AMI support series or Twizzies, and can you reduce the number of double headers and have a race in Milton Keynes?
I love how we've all got on the Twizzy wagon. We've all got on the Twizzy wagon. That's fantastic.
Everyone's going for the Twizzies. I do like how you said, by the way, we're doing live.
Yeah, I love a Twizzy.
Yeah, you said we're live for every single session. He said, "Oh, thank you very much." That was fantastic. He's such a good guy. See, if that was MotoGP or anything else, they'd go, "Why are you live?" But Jeff goes, "Oh, brilliant, nicely done." And that's what I love about Formula E. That's what I love about it. It's so open, brilliant, and that's where you can have your voice heard as well. If you join the Discord, you can get in on the main bar, and the only coverage from testing is basically coming through. Oh, I've got some sad news, actually.
Yeah. Well, at least only live.
That is live, yeah.
Go on.
No. Well, I've just come through. You know Sybil Fawlty from Fawlty Towers, the actress, Prunella Scales.
Oh, no.
She's died, yeah.
Prunella Scales, yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Oh, that's awful.
That's a shame. Very big shame, actually.
Typical. Legendary show that. I love a bit of Faulty Towers.
Everybody loves Faulty Towers. I don't know anybody who hates Faulty Towers to come into it, but yeah.
Don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Oh, you can't like British comedy. We have what is it? 20 minutes to go of this one, which isn't long at all. Race pace is picking up a little bit. Some new faces popping into the top 10. Tictum has been quiet so far, but he's into the top 6. Now with a 1:21.933, group of drivers still covered by half a second so far. Well, to be fair, 18 of the 20 cars, Pico, covered by 0.825 of a second. It's only Vern and Marty that are outside the second margin. This is a close season already for Formula E.
I mean, it's Formula E at the end of a gen cycle. Admittedly, yeah, we've all eaten humble pie with our thoughts on Cupra Kiro falling back, and it just hasn't happened. It didn't happen last year, and we'll have to see whether it happens this year. But it's definitely going to be more difficult. But yeah, it's the joy of Formula E that it's so close all the time.
It is closer and closer and closer. Has Giamana stopped hyperventilating yet? That we just have Jeff Dodds on here live.
Do you know what? I'm not even sure if he was listening.
Well, I know his text saying, "Can we clip that?" And I know he put a tweet out. I did see it, so I think he was around.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, so he has seen.
Where is he anyway? What's he up to?
Yeah. Okay. Well, he hasn't been out here, so he's probably inside. But the thing is, when you look in, so it's mirror. It's mirror reflective, so you can look out, but you can't look in.
Ah, yeah. CRM Doodle has said, who's one of our subscribers, hello, and members of the channel, is Cooper Cairo using the same 2-year-old motor, or has they got an update?
No, it is still the same hardware. But they still have the opportunity to use to update the software. So it's whatever Porsche have done with that and with that power unit for this season. So when I asked Florian Modlinger this question last year, asking how much can they learn from it, can they improve it, and he said yes. But so yeah, they can still improve the software on that. But it won't. But the hardware won't be as advanced as the ones in the Porsche and the. As Dan Tictum actually goes out just below me.
He's on a full power lap time as well, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Oh, that might have been Pepe Marti then. I'm not sure.
Hang on,
one of them's just come out the pits.
Tictum has just come out the pit lane now, but for some reason
I saw 33.
Yeah, for some reason he was fully blue on the timing screen, so it looked like he's already in a full power mode.
No, he's just come out the pits.
Graphical glitch. Go on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the thing is that I spent most of last season going, the drop-off's going to happen any second and it's going to be fine. Yeah, like they're going to drop off any second and then it's going to be all for nothing. And then he won in Jakarta and then we were all kind of shown up for that. I will say, I do feel sorry for Jeff Dodds. I feel like I've started a trend.
Oh, no, why?
So someone's now talking to him and there's another person behind wanting to have a chat.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've started a trend here, guys. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff. Our fault. Yeah, nice.
We'll still be there at the round table tomorrow.
The round table where it's now surprisingly square and you two get the corner.
Yeah.
Oh dear, not good, not good. He's a top bloke though. If he's delayed with whatever, he came back though. Isn't that nice that he came back?
Yes. He was. Yeah. His thing. So he was. So the main reason why he originally couldn't do it is that he was doing something for the floods and some sort of presentation with the floods and something like that. So that he was. So he went off. And then he came back up a moment later. It's been delayed, so let's have a chat.
He's such a good bloke.
Kudos to the man, because I reckon some other people would have just disappeared, but Jeff doesn't. So
no, Jeff doesn't disappear.
What a man!
He's a top bloke, and I can't wait for next year. We're going to have to do something trackside next year. Kyle from Current Lap is back with us as well. He says that we need a video game. So maybe that's something you could talk about at the round table. Kyle, you're live on with us. Hello, mate. Good afternoon. Well, good morning, even.
It's morning for me.
Yeah, it's still morning here. I'm on Spanish time. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Just want to say amazing work from what you guys have done. You know, interviewing the CEO, that was mega. I made some notes down from that because I think there's a lot he said there that we had to take in. He said 600 kilowatt battery, which to me, I understand the numbers. That's like 5 times bigger than any road car. So maybe I've misinterpreted that. But if it is a 600 kilowatt battery, we're going to be looking for some quite long races, I think, because that's going to last a while.
Which is better news. It lines it more with Formula One, exactly what Pico was wanting, longer races. Did you also twig that he said that we're going to see it around Easter time, which I think is quite
yeah.
That's cool.
I'm looking. They've obviously dropped renders already, like with the front wing building on the website. So it'd be nice to see some concepts and then to see it on track. And I got really excited, and it was like one of these big. Oh yeah, that's so obvious. When we could do a support series with Gen 3. Like, yeah, then it's not wasteful for the planet. We're using another car and it gets drivers in. And then hopefully, to the question you asked yesterday, we can get some females into that support series.
I've got a feeling that we're getting closer now. I was so excited that Pico asked that question to Jeff, because now it's been the topical morning. Do we have a support series? Can we have a support series? Gen 3 now looks like the most likely to do that as a logical step. And I like what he said, Carl, as well, that... You know, it's been in the idea that the logical step was as soon as you get to Gen 4, what we're going to do with the Gen 3 cars. Because you couldn't really do much with Gen 1 or Gen 2. But Gen 3, especially with the Evo, you can keep running them for a while. Because they're not that dead yet. Unlike the Gen 2s, which are really extended.
It reminds me of how, like, PlayStation held onto the PS4 for so long. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Like, it's still compatible.
Yeah, it's still now, to this day, isn't it? It's like, God.
Yeah. One question I want to ask about testing, because this is, of course, my first testing year. In Formula One, we know a term of sandbagging. That means they're not really pushing the cars. Obviously, that's to show performance in aerodynamics and things like that. But in Formula E, is there an element of sandbagging at all?
I think not really that. If you've got a new piece of software to the engine, I'd say you'd sandbag a little bit. Like Porsche, I think they're deliberately sandbagging because their lap times are too close together. Mahindra, I think, have just gone all out. But the likes of Nissan, 14th, 15th, they're too far down. Jaguar, again, they're too close together on the timing screen for them not to be sandbagging times. Because we're seeing too many 2x2s out there as well. I don't know if Pico can hear me with a mic. I'd love to ask your question of if you think the teams are sandbagging as well. So we'll get him back shortly. But yeah, I think largely I'd say yes, Carl. I think they would be sandbagging.
Mahindra, not that they're a bad team, wouldn't have been on my top team to be at the top there. So maybe they are. You know, Nick DeVries and Mortar aren't, you know, rookies or anything. But yeah, I was expecting more like Porsche, Nissan, as you said, like the teams that were top of the season last season.
Yeah, and I'm quite shocked really about it all. I would say if Mahindra's pace is true to this, then they can't do a Maserati. When back in season 9 and just sort of go, yeah, we're quick and then we're going to go off at the first race of the year. But yeah, what have you found out then? What do you think is the big talking point so far? Bar Mahindra.
What of testing? Well, Barnard going off in the gravel yesterday was probably the big talking point. See that picture on the press release area was quite like he'd gone off really far, so it'd be interesting to see. Obviously they're probably not going to tell us but what happened. It could have been a lockup or anything, but yeah, I mean obviously Barnard's bedding into that car, so you know it's just testing, so we can't really say well he's washed, as they would say. I guess obviously Verline and Roland going top yesterday, or fighting for the top positions, that felt like very like close to home, as it almost like that. That's, you know, the two that will be fighting for contention. So I did have someone else. Oh, and Andretti. Is Jake Dennis going to be the quiet champion? Is he going to sneak up into the, you know, the contending positions this year? So it's thinking about drivers who have a good chance this year, because I do think it's going to be quite level playing field. So I'm hoping that we have, like, maybe it goes down to the wire season.
I really hope so. And a London finale, which looks like it could be the final time in London, would be very exciting. I've got to get to that one. Have to. That's in August, by the way, everybody. For that middle of August to come into it.
I've told both Jacks to do a meet and greet, and we'll make it the biggest thing we can. I just want to talk about the new car.
Go for it.
Because he said that London's a bit tight because of the new setups, but does that mean Monaco's going to slowly lose its charm in Formula E?
Is that because...
It's all speculation.
I think with the reason Formula 1 doesn't work in Monaco anymore is because the cars are too wide. Formula E, I think, we're still keeping the narrowness of a Formula E car. So I think it'll just be higher speeds, I hope. Although that's a good question. Will Monaco lose its charm?
Because that's the thing, because Formula E is like just massive go-karts that with electrical torque. So, but yeah, I mean, if they don't widen the cars, because we went, I think, was it 3 wide into back?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And everyone screamed, like, what?
So, and Monaco was, it's always good to tell my Formula 1 friends that Monaco's a great circuit. And I deliberately made a short video this week that was like saying how good Monaco is and it's a jewel of the crown. And then the last sentence I said was in Formula E. So, just rage baiting people.
But it really is. Formula E works at Monaco. It's the best race of the year.
I actually love it being a double header as well, because I just think Monaco is it's iconic, isn't it? It adds not heritage to this sport, because we're fairly new and we're all about being in the future, but to just race there just shows that we're a big enough sport to have that representation.
I love how it's the full circuit. It feels great. It feels like it belongs. And the double header, it's not the same race 2 days running, because it rained on Saturday and it was dry Sunday. We got 2 different races. It was fantastic.
They have their own microclimate.
It's perfect.
I started off this sort of chat with you started it with talking about the video game. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is obviously my mission to create content and be part of this community is to get more people in, because as a sport, it's fantastic and it really is like enjoyable. But what got me into racing was video games. And I think they obviously have it's on Amazon, but they have their like Drive to Survive. It's called The Driver, which also helps to get people in. But also then, obviously, the video games is what got me into motorsport, and I think we just lack it. I know there's R Factor 2, and I think it was the Gen 2, or maybe the early Gen 3, and then the rest of them are all just arcade games. But I just think, it'd be nice to have this series supported somewhere else.
I would... Giamana's joined in. Hello, Jack. Can you hear us? Just a bit. Just let you know, Jack, I cannot hear you. Okay, we'll pick up with Gio in a second. Yeah, Kyle, I think as well, do you think that we should have the option to have a video game out there for Formula E separately, or would you like to put it in like with Project Cars or something like that?
Personally, I think they could make a game with all 4 gens on it, and then you could have a game that brings all the fans in, they can understand it. The reason why I think video games help is because when you come into a sport, you've got to learn all the drivers, and you don't learn them in one race, or I don't. So I learned by playing the games, by joining a team and then racing against like some of the rookies at the back of the field. And then as you climb up, you learn who the drivers are, and then you see them on the TV, and it really just helps bake them into your brain. That's how it did it for me. So, but I just think, when the Formula E race finishes, we then just have to wait for the next one. There's nothing else we can do to consume it. And I think the more you consume on a daily basis, the more you sort of build the love for the sport. So,
out of interest, have you ever done the R Factor with the the Gen 2 and Gen 1 cars? And then
I have not. No, I'm primarily a console player, so I do a lot of GT7 in VR. And I wish they'd put a EV car on there, as in a Formula E car, because I just think it's such a cool bit of technology, just being instant torque.
I'll tell you one thing as we can hear Giamana. Jack, are you there? Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, my friend. Are you all right?
Hello. Yeah, no, not too bad. Just inside here in the media center, just listening to the conversations that were happening.
Got a yellow flag at turn 14. That's at the chicane. So if you want to look out your window, it's the one. So that is Ollie Rowland.
It's a double wave yellow. Yeah, Oliver Rowland. Then our only yellow of this session, I believe.
He stopped at the chicane, and it's you're right, double yellow, and this might be a red flag if he's come to stop. Can you see anything out the window?
I can't at this precise moment, but Pico has gone on to, and he might come and join in. We just came inside, and I'll just send him back outside. Go and have a look. Cars are still circulating. No flag has no sign of any red flags on display. I haven't seen Roland come through yet, so
still yellow.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, still yellow at the moment, and he's still stopped down there. So we'll keep an eye on that as it goes. Yeah, just to explain to you on the Alpha game, they are incredibly difficult to drive, but they're so much fun. The rear steps out massively from it as well. But I like your idea of having all four. Pico's got news.
Hello, yes. I've just headed outside. Ollie Rowland has parked his car on the other side of the tyre barrier at the entrance of the pit lane. So he hasn't gone into the pit lane. He's gone round the final little kink and then parked his car up just past the barrier. Yeah, we're not sure why, but it's in a safe place. Unless someone has a huge fin out the bar, I don't think it's going to affect anyone. The thing is, it's white on white, so I didn't really see what it was to start with. But yeah, the world champion is Leon at 14. He is getting out of the car. I've just seen the Con4 come off.
Well,
so Ollie's
should be a red flag then, but they haven't stopped it yet.
So the thing is, it's in an incredibly safe place. Yeah, Ollie is now getting out of the car. Just put the he just left it from the top. Red flag.
Yep, so that'll end the morning session then, unfortunately. Red flag's out. Cheers, Pico, for that. You can see it all happening down there.
Mahindra 1-2 then, haven't we?
What do you think? What do you think of that, Kyle? Good? That's it's a 1-2?
Well, I don't think they planned it, but with it testing, it's like practice sessions, isn't it? We don't get the results that we expect.
Who wanted to come in there? Was that you, Pico?
I think it was Jack, wasn't it?
No. I just wanted to know if that was to me or not. I wasn't really sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. All the cars coming back down pit lane now.
So red flags out. Recovery and medical car going out there, although that's not really needed because he can just hop over the wall to come into it. Omi's here as well for 2.5 minutes. He's popped in. He'll be with us this afternoon coming into it. Hi, Omi. Are you okay, my friend? You doing well?
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, doing well. I thought I'd quickly pop over and say hello, but yes, I'll be more with you in the afternoon.
Yep, well, we've got the red flag out right now, which is not great news to stop the session. Kyle, I'll let you go before the end of the session for lunch. What are you going to be looking at this afternoon?
Again, just seeing where people position themselves, hopefully no 2x2s, and we can start seeing if there's any representative times, but just to see, how well the rookies are bedding in, and then just seeing how DaCosta's going to be doing. That's what I'm going to be looking at, because go Jag.
Go Jag. Thank you, Kyle. We'll see you this afternoon. Take care, my friend.
See you soon.
Giamano, what have you got for us?
Not too much. I was just having a look. I was getting a bit scared because a few more people were showing us stopped on track, but it's just a timing glitch. It looks like at this precise moment as they all kind of just head to the track. But yeah, apart from the red flag, probably the best time for a red flag if you're Nissan, because the session's over. So it's like it doesn't really affect many things. It's just 1 or 2 extra laps that they've potentially missed out on. But Roland's done 42 laps in total, so he's got a good amount of running. The highest amount of running that I can see so far is number 53, maximum income laps. The maximum income has done 53 laps in this session. So on the contrary, let's go and find out who has done the least amount of session running, which isn't that bad. It's at 32, Jean-Eric Verne. So Jean-Eric Verne's only done 32 laps. But yeah, 52's quite a few on 52. Degrassi, NATO on 52. So a lot of running has been done. No one's really had any major issues in terms of a lack of running in this session. Everyone seems to have got a good amount. As I said, our only stoppage was right now at the end of the session. So not a massive issue there at all. So as I think it's just Bill Cassidy that's out on the track now, and Marty's once they're in, that's it, session done.
That's a shame that we won't get the full practice starts as well there. And Pico's watching. Pico, cars coming into the pits. What's the latest down there?
Ollie Rowland has started walking down the track. He's now back in the pit lane. He's just going up to the FIA way bridge. No, is he going there? No, he's just going to walk straight past. We will try and find out what the issue was that caused him to park up. But yeah, he's just coming underneath us now. And yeah, we'll probably have more information in the afternoon session.
Thanks, Pico, for all your hard work this morning. Jack Giamano as well. You've got a press conference to get to in around about 45 minutes' time for all the action as well. Red flag for Roland. A bit of a drama. Brings out the red flags. Little hiccup at the chicane. Out of the car, walking back to the garage, as the boys have said. Omi, this afternoon, though, we've got a simulation race coming through as well. Usually quite exciting when we get one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what we look forward to. It's what we look forward to. We have all of the testing, and then it all goes to that moment where we're looking forward to seeing how that will go. So looking forward to that later on as well, right at the end of the day. Should be quite a lot of fun.
Should be quite a lot of fun as well. Okay, let's get final thoughts as well. Giamano, what have you made of this morning's session?
A really just straightforward session, not too much. Mahindra being 1-2 is really good signs at the minute for them. They're doing really well. They were quick yesterday, quick today. Does that mean anything yet? Who knows? But the fact that they're on pace means it's very important. And just a final reminder as well, if you be here 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock Central European time, simulation race will be getting on the way probably within the first 15 minutes of the session. So we might not have any running in the first 15, but we're thinking about it might be a 2:15 start. But be here for 2 o'clock, get all the build-up coverage, find out where everyone's starting the race, and we'll be here to live to commentate on it.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Jack, thanks very much. Pico, what have you made of this morning's session?
It's been a very, very mundane run-of-the-mill session. Nothing's really happened apart from Ollie right at the end. We'll have to see, and looking forward to the race this afternoon.
Excellent fun. Thanks, guys, as well. We'll see you this afternoon. Mortara, De Vries, Dennis, Verline, Muller, Tickton, Barnard, Gunther, Buemi, Cassidy, the top 10, Maloney, Evans, DaCosta, Roland, Nato, Degrassi, Djokovic, Eriksson, Vern, and Marty. That's your 20 out there at the moment. We will be back this afternoon. That's 2 hours' time for all of the action from the simulation race, and then hopefully about 90 minutes of on-track action. We'll hear as well the drivers and teams from the press conferences, and we'll catch up again with Sebastian Buemi and hear again from our CEO, Jeff Dodds. Thanks to Jack Pickering and Jack Giamano and Omi, and to all of you who joined in on the FE bar. We'll see you in 2 hours' time. Go get some lunch. Bye-bye.